welcome to episode 357 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for January 2nd, 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel Nixon, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on in this new year, Dominic?
It's been a great holiday. I had a great holiday. You had a great holiday, man?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say great, but what the hell? I'll say it great. Fine. Yeah, see, y'all don't know. So it's...
For all your relatives that are listening to this, and they're like, he didn't have a great holiday.
Yeah, nobody knows what relatives are. So I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, it was... I enjoyed it. I only do nothing for New Year's, though. New Year's, I actually was up past it. I heard some fireworks. Wasn't as bad as the 4th of July, though.
Yeah.
And plus it was warm, so I thought it was going to be worse. I thought people was going to be out there doing it because it wasn't really cold that night. It's been a warm week overall. Like we're back to we had a little bit cold spell the week before, like before Christmas.
Yep.
And after that, man, we just been fucking like spring weather or something like that, man.
I mean, Christmas Day, it was like 68, 69, 70 something.
Yeah, because I came out wearing I had a big thermal kind of sweater thing on, and I was like, oh, fucking God, I'm hot. I said, Jesus, what the hell was I thinking? I didn't look at it, the weather. What else is going on? What's else going on? Oh, no, I saw myself at holidays. Yeah, oh yeah, my sister, she gave me a nice gift of like this hoodie with our podcast logo on it.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, it looked really nice. Yeah, I liked it. And she also gave me some socks with video game something like a controller on it. It's just something on the bottom. Let's say.
That's cool.
I lost the socks. I lost them. I must have took them off when I was in the bed. But anyway, and some Simpsons mask. COVID mask. She gave me that. So the Simpsons will help me protect me from COVID.
Very
so
nice.
That's good. It's kind of sad because I was hoping COVID would be over by now. But apparently it's worse. It's worse than ever because it seems like just goddamn cases and hospitalizations have gone up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it finally hit us at work. I think the first time we really had any issues. But, it's the milder cases, so nobody's really, too sick. But
no, I'm not hearing at least not around me. I'm not hearing anything serious. I know my friend had trouble, his mom had COVID because she had came down. She was sick, but they didn't know I don't think they knew she had COVID at the time, but they realized when she got tested that she did. But luckily he didn't get it. Right. But that was pretty bad. It was bad, but not horrible, nothing life-threatening. I know the Delta variant is the one that seems to be putting people really sick, but the Omicron is the one that just seems to be spreading around.
Yeah.
Like hotcakes and shit. So, it's just crazy because I'm watching sports and I'm always hearing somebody's out for COVID, especially for basketball. It's horrible. It seems like every game you're just going through okay, who's not playing this game? And because their rules, they didn't adopt the NFL rule of okay, we're not going to test people anymore. Just the unvaccinated. We're just going to test the unvaccinated. But if you vaccinated, you're not getting tested.
Gotcha. So it's basically ignorance is bliss at that point.
Yeah,
as long as you're asymptomatic, you can play. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, if you feel sick, you're just going to be out. You just say, "Hey, I don't feel well." Because some players do. Some players don't feel well, but some players don't. They don't feel, or that's not that big deal. Maybe you just get it to hey, I can't taste anything, but I can still play. You can still play football. You can still throw that ball, so you can get your ass out there.
So I'm not going to bring that up.
No, you out there. You just can't taste the Gatorade when you go on the sidelines.
Yeah, which is good because it's trash anyway.
So, what else? So how was your holiday?
It was good. It was pretty quiet. We did our family gift exchange thing a couple of weeks ago with my in-laws, but then we didn't actually do Christmas with any of the family. We just did it with, at home with the kid. And that was good. She got plenty of stuff between us and my in-laws and whatnot. So she's still She's still got stuff that's not even open. I think I've learned my lesson that she's going to get like 1 or 2 things, and then she doesn't need any more than that. I'm going to deprive my child, Dominic.
You're supposed to give them so many toys because they're supposed to break and lose them. That's how it's supposed to work.
Well,
or actually, no, you're supposed to have those toys because if you have another kid, you just give them those things. They won't tell the difference in new toys.
Yeah. We're already like working on trying to get rid of previous clothes because like I have my cousin who had her kid not long after us, but because of like the season difference, we can't necessarily just hand off all the clothes. Yeah. It's like, oh, we had long sleeves, but now she's like, 6 months after. Well, it's longer than that because it was like March to January or something like that. But yeah, the seasons are just off enough where it's like, this can't just pass off all these clothes. So now we've got all these clothes that we need to take to like a consignment shop or something.
All right. So I guess I'll just quickly get through this. So what's going on in the sports world? Let's start with football. So we're down to 2 weeks left. Since the last time I talked, Washington has lost twice. So yeah, we lost to the Eagles and we lost to the Cowboys again. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys game was just horrible. That was just a horrible game. It just blew us the fuck out. So I was kind of happy because I could just stop the game and like before the half was over. So I was like, yeah, this game is over, and I could just go ahead and play some video games. So so that was good. The Ravens aren't doing so well. I mean, they were down to their, I guess maybe the third string you want to call him. I don't know what string he was, honestly. I don't think he was there. I think the one was going with the 2 quarterback rotation at first, and then they had to get this guy. Yeah, but they had a chance. They still had a chance, but they couldn't get through, unfortunately. So it sucks. I don't know who's a quarterback this time. Like I haven't looked at any news whatsoever as far as sports. So I don't know who's playing, who's not playing. Honestly, I don't know when Lombard is going to be back or if he's coming back. I have no idea.
As of 7 hours ago, it looks like Hundley's going to start against the Rams.
Okay, so that's okay. So there you go. But yeah, so I mean, I'm rooting for them, but it's going to be tough. The Rams, they are in first place in the division now because the Cardinals been losing. So they've came back up. Well, I wouldn't say they came back because Cardinals been mostly leading the whole season until last week, I think. So the Rams just took over. Packers are still great. Aaron Rodgers, I say, is still great. The Packers defense is actually playing better this year. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I'm rooting for the Packers. I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers to get another Super Bowl trophy because I feel like he deserves one. I mean, as a great quarterback he is, I think he's one of the best, or to some they say he is the best one, and that's arguable. That's arguable. That some people think he's better than Tom Brady.
I was gonna say not until he's 65, winning championships like Tom Brady.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think Tom Brady is just fortunate. I mean, he's a great quarterback, but also fortunate to be on great teams too. Yeah. I mean, he was with the best coach who knew how to get away with cheating. And he always had a top 10 defense. Like these other greats, like Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, it was rare for them to have top 10 defense. Like I think Peyton Manning, he was with the Broncos. They were a top 10 defense, but that was later in his career. And the Colts, maybe 1 year. I don't know. But Tom Brady, that was most of his career. I think almost every Super Bowl, maybe they were a top 10 defense. They were a good defense. They were a defense that could take it away. They were a defense that would give him a chance to win. So they had a good team. I mean, it's a team like Super Bowl wins. Everybody puts on a quarterback because quarterback's the guy who really controls the scoring. I mean, majority of the time. I mean, you can technically score on defense, but you got to get, fumbles and interceptions, and you can't control that all the time. It's kind of hard, but it's really a team sport. It's not like basketball where you can play offense and defense. You are only can control one like half of the game, and that's not even really half because you got special teams also. So you can control a certain part of the game as a quarterback, but I don't know. I think we give too much credit, but because it's easier to give it to a star. Like you always want to give it to a star, so the quarterback's a star, and you want to say like, "Hey, he's the greatest because he won this many Super Bowls," but not really recognizing that there's other reasons why they won Super Bowls. I mean, that defense was great. It's been great for New England, and then the defense was great for Tampa Bay with him too. And you can't say that he's the best because he won more Super Bowls than Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers, because you got to look at a whole deal. Like, what the teams look like? Offensively, those teams were great, but a lot of those years, like Peyton Manning's defense wasn't great at all. And Aaron Rodgers' defense, man, yeah, that defense. It's rare to see. Like, this is one of the best defenses I've seen with the Packers that he's been with. Maybe one other year, but he's mostly didn't really have a defense. He had to do score a lot of points. So it's just one of those things, but it's like whatever. But yeah, the Packers still looking great. I mean, the Bills are looking good recently now. They've been on a little surge. The Colts have been looking good. It's pretty open, but KC seems like they're back. Kansas City, after they really didn't start that well, it seems like they're back in the driver's seat now. Like, they look like the favorites, but not the so overwatching favorite. Like, oh, they're unstoppable. But they look. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and won. Put it like that. I mean, they're still a great team. I mean, I think we should all kind of figure that they was going to come back to be at least on top or close to top. Even though they start out bad, you figure like, oh, they'll fix what's wrong with them. What I did predict was that the rest of the division, well, especially the Chargers, will drop significantly down. Like, they were looking great, but then they just start losing their heart. They lost to what? The Texans. The Texans are horrible this year. Like, it didn't even make sense for them to lose to that team. I don't know. Like, there's really no consistent team. That's the thing. There's no consistent team in the NFL this year. The most consistent team is maybe the Packers, and that's only because of Aaron Rodgers, really. So, it's up in the air. This season is definitely up in the air. It's really no overall favorite, which is kind of good because she's like, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
All right, so we can get down to college football. The championship is happening now. They finished the first playoff games. Alabama and Georgia won. Both SEC schools. Both SEC schools won. So it's gonna be a rematch because Alabama did beat Georgia. So I think Alabama's gonna beat Georgia again. I mean, unfortunately, I'm rooting for Georgia, but I think Alabama's gonna win again. Ever since they've done this playoff, Alabama's been in all of them except for one. So what is it? This is probably what, the 8th time? They've been in 7 times. I was like, God damn it! I was like, when are they gonna find out that this school's been cheating yet? Well, how long we got until they find out that this man been paying people? Because who the fuck wants to go to Alabama? There's literally nothing down there except for that damn school, probably. And, I mean, there's literally nothing. I mean, the colleges. That's it. It's not. Why would you want to go to Alabama? What is so great at Alabama, really? Especially for a black person. I don't know what the fuck you why would you want to go to Alabama? I mean, you literally have to stay on campus. No, yeah. I would literally just yeah. I mean, you probably wouldn't even want to go anywhere anyway. I mean, it's probably okay to stay on campus, but the guy's a great coach though. I mean, so that's the one reason to go. But it's like, come on, man, they gotta be doing something with these kids. They gotta be selling something, right? They gotta be paying these kids off, right? Under the table or something. Well, yes, let's go to basketball. I know Maryland, they won the last few games, but they didn't play anybody tough, so nothing big there. But I haven't been paying attention to college basketball much. But I keep seeing things that they don't know if they're going to finish out the season because it's been quite a few cancellation of games happening because of COVID. And since the cases are worse than even last year, they don't people are wondering if they can keep this up with like getting to March Madness. Well, we even had March Madness this year because of the cases. It would suck if that happens. I mean, like that.
Yeah.
Like you would think things would be getting better, not worse anyway, or at least be in a way where it has some type of control. But it seems like right now we're not. It's really just all fucked up with COVID. Because even with the NBA is even having that problem. Like I'm watching NBA games. Every time I watch a Wizards game, I'm like, oh, somebody's out for the Wizards, and it's not because of injury; it's because of COVID. And I look at the other team, I'm like, hey, I don't see a lot of their players either. It's just like you're just hoping that, hey, the star players are playing at least, and their star players is not playing, so you have a chance to win. But the Wizards, as of today, they played a great game against Chicago. Unfortunately, they lost. I mean, it was a great game. That game was great overall. Wizards was leading most of the game, but Chicago came back. They were not missing threes. Like, they were making threes like crazy. And I just don't know how you, like, when a team is hot like that, and they have two great players, DeRozan and, damn it, what's his fucking name? Yeah, Zach LaVine. Like, he was killing that game. And I forgot what he ended up with. I don't even remember in the 30s, I think. But they just weren't missing threes. Like, the whole team wasn't missing threes. Mm-hmm. That was keeping them in the game. I mean, those two players and them not missing threes. Because we just kept staying around like a 10 to 8 point lead. But the fourth quarter came. Bulls came back, and then it was like staying within like single digits, like between 3 and 2. But then they hit a shot. They got the lead. Wizards, Kuzma hit a big 3. I'm up there screaming, thinking we're going to win. And then it was 3 seconds left. They come down after the timeout. They hit a buzzer 3, which is like their second buzzer shot in a row by the same player, DeRozan. Apparently, he hit a buzzer shot in their previous game, which was just a day before. They come off so this is a back-to-back game. Wizards should really took advantage of this because like they should be tired. And after playing a tough game too, did they come back one tough game? I mean, Bulls are doing great this year. Like they got players too. Like they build a good team. They already had Zach LaVine, but they picked up DeRozan. They picked up Lonzo Ball. They picked up some other players too. But they built a good team. So the Bulls are looking good. It's a bad loss. I mean, bad as in like, oh, we had the game and we lost the lead. But it was a good game. At least it was a game that I enjoyed watching. So I can say that. I just hope we don't go on a losing streak. But it just pisses me off because we could have stole the game. Other than that, that was it. Any wrestling news happen?
So they had WWE had a pay-per-view last night in which Roman Reigns was supposed to compete against Brock Lesnar.
They had a New Year's pay-per-view?
Yeah, it's called Day One because it was the first day of the year. This is the first time they've really done that. But the biggest news coming out of that was that earlier in the day, Roman Reigns tweeted that he had tested positive for COVID and would not be participating in that show. So they instead put Brock Lesnar into the Monday Night Raw WWE Championship match, which is currently held by Big E, and he won that match. So they clearly kind of changed things last minute, but also decided that they still wanted Brock to win, because it sounded like a lot of people were speculating that Brock Lesnar was going to beat Roman Reigns anyway, which is, they keep doing this thing where they build up a guy like Roman Reigns who's, he's been around, he's established, doesn't necessarily need one of these long reigns, but everybody's like, but man, when, somebody new beats him, it's going to be a big deal for that person. And then it always ends up being someone like Goldberg or Brock Lesnar or something like that, where it's like, well, that person did not need the shine of beating Roman Reigns on this, ungodly streak that he's on right now. And it's just so WWE. I don't know. That pay-per-view
they
was
should adopt the NFL's way of COVID. Like,
So they have actually. Oh, okay. Yeah, they announced I think like last week that they were going to stop testing as well. I don't know if Roman, tested himself or if he had symptoms or something. You have to remember that he did, go through leukemia treatment and is, immunocompromised. So he's probably a little more cautious about it. I mean, he did sit out WrestleMania the year before this one because of that. And I think both Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins tested positive like a week ago. So people were kind of up in the air about whether they were even going to be on the show, but they did both compete. I don't know if that has anything to do with the new CDC guidelines of only 5 days, from the time that you're testing positive or whatever, and wearing a mask and all that stuff. Obviously in the ring, they're not wearing masks. I don't know how that works. But yeah, that's kind of where that was. The show overall was just kind of a nothing show. Nothing too exciting happened. On the opposite side of things, AEW, they did get Kyle O'Reilly, so one of the guys from Undisputed Era was added to that roster. So the three kind of main guys from that NXT faction are now there: Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish. So that's good. We haven't heard anything about whether Johnny Gargano is going to go there or not. There's some speculation. I think they have a show coming up in Cleveland, which is his hometown. And he's streaming stuff on Twitch, and WWE has a policy against that. So one would imagine either he's just taking time away or he's going to end up in AEW because they allow for that kind of thing. Kind of the other big news out of AEW the other day, actually, so I don't know if it was a couple of months ago. Yeah, a couple of months ago, wrestler Big Swole, she was in their women's division, wasn't really utilized much, kind of on the newer side of things, like isn't totally great in the ring, but she's all right, and I think she was improving. They let her contract expire because it seems like that's kind of how AEW is doing things, letting the contracts run out instead of just canceling them outright like WWE's been doing. So she had a podcast that she put out the other day, or like it was a live call-in thing, and basically people were asking her why she left. And she said, there's diversity issues there. There's, things that I talked about with them, and I thought it was best that we parted ways. It was like the most amicable, like, constructive criticism kind of take that you could have on that kind of stuff. And they do have kind of a problem. Like, they're a diverse company, but a lot of those people that you see who are more diverse are on their lower tier, like YouTube shows and whatnot, not on Dynamite and Rampage. Most of those guys are just straight white dudes. So that didn't really get a lot of traction until Tony Khan, the owner and kind of head booker of AEW, went on Twitter and basically was like, oh, we're super diverse. This person and this person and this person. Basically, like, I got black friends, but it's like I've got black wrestlers that were undefeated in this calendar year. So kind of a bad take. And then also, hey, we let her go because she wasn't a good wrestler. So really unprofessional hot take on Twitter. So that kind of blew up on New Year's Eve night. People were joking about Tony Khan getting into the White Claws a little early. So that kind of blew up for the couple of days. It sounds like things have moved in a positive way. Some of the wrestlers who kind of were upset about that original tweet have posted that they've talked to Tony Khan, and there was some misunderstanding there, but also just like the level of professionalism with the way that was handled entirely was just really bad. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, we know WWE is questionable in their ethics as an entirety, and it kind of sucks that you see things like this where it's like, oh, maybe this alternative that you thought was going to be better is maybe not run by people that are very good either. And it makes you less like excited to support a brand, I guess you should say. I guess I could say. So we'll see how this actually reflects in the TV program. But it's just like, this was entirely self-inflicted. If Tony Khan hadn't said anything about any of this, then, most people wouldn't have even heard about these comments. And, that's something that allegedly, according to some of the wrestlers, they are at least attempting to work on in the background. So, you can see some of that reflected in the television product, but it's kind of slow and steady right now. They have their top stars, and their top stars are guys like Daniel Bryan and Kenny Omega and people like that who are, straight white dudes. So yeah, that's kind of where that is, but wrestling as a whole, AEW is still doing a good job with the actual product, and WWE is just doing a WWE thing.
Okay. So, I guess we're getting to what we were watching. Yeah. Oh, you can keep talking. I mean, okay. the shows you watch.
Gotcha. So I watched a couple of things these past couple of weeks while we've been away. Encanto is the new Disney animated movie that they just put up on Disney Plus that released in theaters, I think like a month or so ago. And that was delightful. It was very good. I'd put it up there with the Frozens or the Moanas. I don't think it's quite as good as Moana, but it's still very good. The story is interesting. It's basically about this family who has magical powers, and they kind of one of their powers, Bruno, is like an uncle or cousin or something like that, and he had the power of like foresight. And that started to break apart the family, and everybody starting to lose the powers. And the one girl that didn't have powers is trying to bring the family back together. So that was very good. The music is also very good. So I enjoyed that a lot. I think that was very good. Also watched The Matrix Resurrection. Did not think that was very good. We've talked about it in the past, kind of leading up to this.
So why'd you watch this, but you told me you didn't even watch the second or third one?
Because it was new and out on HBO Max. If I had to go to the theaters, I would not have seen it, but it was on there. My wife was interested in watching it.
Okay. Did she see second or third one?
Yes. Yeah,
okay.
She was more. I mean, I am so familiar with those movies from absorbing everything about them through the rest of pulp culture and the internet and whatnot, that I don't feel like I'm missing any like plot threads or anything like that. It's really just a matter of I haven't sat down and watched through both of those movies, I don't think, at any point. And that leads to like at least partially my feelings on this is like The Matrix was never something I was super excited about past that first movie. I mean, that first movie I went to the theater when I was younger and I saw, and I was, amazed by it as a youth. And then the second one came out and people said it wasn't very good. And I was like, oh, I guess I don't need to see this. And then the same thing happened with the third one. And then at some point down the line, I'm pretty sure I bought like the HD DVDs of them and kind of, maybe had them on in the background or something like that. Just whatever. Didn't really pay attention to them. And then this one came along and it's like, okay, let's see what they're going to do with this. Are they going to have something interesting here, or are they, just going to do kind of a cash-in thing? And I don't necessarily think it's just like a cash-in thing. In fact, most of it is kind of a joke on it being a cash-in thing. It's very much like self-referential, and I don't know how I feel about that part of it. Honestly, like, I kind of commend the one Wachowski that, worked on this, kind of saying like, oh yeah, they were going to do it without us. So I had a story to tell, so I figured I would do it, myself. But at the same time, just like everything about it is just blah. Like the story is basically Keanu gets pulled back into the Matrix, and then like Trinity's still there because they, instead of just like destroying that program or whatever, the machines decided to basically put them in cold storage, like locking them deep down in the Matrix somewhere and keeping them in their pods. I don't know if like that has something to do with like, oh, they have to exist in this world or something. And then, new Morpheus helps pull them back in, and they of course have to break people free of the Matrix again is where they're trying to get. And it just, the fighting isn't great in this one. The like slow motion bits, I don't know if they're just like a lower budget or what. They really just don't even look as good as those old Matrix movies, and they definitely don't live up to like a modern day interpretation of that same kind of technology. It's really weird. I don't know what's going on there, if they were just like, hey, you got to make it with this budget or what, but it's not great. So I don't come out of this saying like it's a terrible movie. I don't like it, and I don't think it's great, but I could see fans of The Matrix, particularly people that also found something that they liked in 2 and 3, finding things that they like about this movie and the way that it handles some of the characters and the Matrix world as a whole. So that's kind of where I stand on that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Also watched Hawkeye. The season finale of that came out. That was enjoyable. I think that might be up there at or near the top of the Marvel series on Disney Plus so far as a whole. The finale, if you compare it to something like Loki, where it has this huge revelation, isn't that, it's not mind-blowing, but I think it leaves plenty of opportunity for more things to happen. And I think overall the series as a whole was just very good and balanced well between the character development of like a Kate Bishop or even Hawkeye. I mean, Hawkeye up until this point hasn't ever really been the focal point of any of these movies or even had that much character development outside of, hey, look, he's got a wife over here and kids. So I think they've done an excellent job with those characters, as well as Echo, her character. I think they did a great job of developing her. And they did do some interesting things with where the finale goes and some of the characters that they brought in there. So I think overall that series was very good, and I definitely put it up there near the top of the Disney Plus stuff. I say near the top, but that's just because like I'm not entirely sure how I would rank any of them right now, because WandaVision is such a weird thing and goes off in kind of weird tangents. But like there's that middle section of that show that I think is extremely good. Like the beginning is very niche and kind of less accessible for some people. And then you get into the middle bits, and then the finale is kind of like boilerplate Marvel finale kind of stuff. And that's kind of what you see in this one as well. But I think it's more consistent throughout. And then Loki, I think, was very good, but is praised a little more for the way it ended. You know, if that hadn't been a like, look, here's Kang type thing, I think people would be a little more down on that show. And Captain Falcon, Captain America and Winter Soldier, I think that just, it was affected by what they had to do to kind of cut around the pandemic stuff. And it feels choppy in a way that works against it. You know, overall, I think it was a good show as well. And it had some really interesting plot points and kind of general feelings to it. But it definitely was a little more disjointed because of the way they kind of handled the Flag Smashers and stuff like that. So yeah, Hawkeye, I think good, enjoyable. I know you said you were kind of struggling to get through it, where you're at right now, but kind of checking it out as we're recording this. After that,
you said the top of the Marvel series. So what's the top?
Well, that's what I was explaining. Like I couldn't tell you that it is the top instead of at the top because I'm not sure without like going back and watching all 4 of those series again, not counting What If, 5 if you want to count them. I'm not sure exactly how I would rank them, but if I had to just kind of go off the top of my head, I would probably say it, then WandaVision, Loki, and Captain America and the Winter Soldier with What If at the end. They're all still series that I enjoyed, but I think, Hawkeye does a really good job of balancing the Marvel formula while also exploring these characters in a way that I really like with some extra depth that you didn't see in some of the other series.
All right.
After that, also saw Spider-Man No Way Home. I thought that was very good. I was a little concerned seeing the trailers and kind of reading all the stuff leading up to it that maybe it would end up being a movie that was a little too crowded, what with the kind of returning villains from the different universes. And I think they handle that stuff excellently. Some of the characters do get kind of pushed to the side. Like the Lizard kind of gets, backseat as well as Sandman. But for the most part, I think they do a really good job of that stuff. And just overall, I think it's a really good movie. I'm not going to get too into spoilers, because it's still relatively new and you haven't seen it yet. But I do think that is an excellent movie and, is right up there on par with No Way Home and Homecoming, or Far From Home and No Coming and Homecoming as far as those Spider-Man movies go.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then the last one I saw was, you also saw Book of Boba Fett. First episode kind of explores how he escaped from the Sarlacc and kind of how he ended up where he is when you finally kind of see his reemergence in The Mandalorian. And I think so far it's good. It's on par with The Mandalorian, kind of in that vibe and whatnot. And I'm interested to see where they actually take this, with him is kind of taking over for Jabba as this new crime lord, but with the heart of gold, or, ruling with respect instead of fear.
And well, that's the problem I had. Oh, it's not a problem. It's just that I understand him having. Actually, I don't. I don't know why he has honor.
Yeah.
I don't know where in the story that he what the character I seen in Clone Wars, he was just a kid. So maybe I want to know where in the point of him being a kid to where he was just trying to get revenge on Windu for killing his father. And he's being with these, he was with these other bounty hunters, and I think he didn't really like what they were doing. I gotta look at it again. But he was just a young kid, so I understanding certain points. But he becomes a bounty hunter.
Right. And
he didn't seem like a guy who's a bounty hunter of like, I thought he was just a bounty hunter. He was just a guy who just, you hired him, he goes out and gets the guy or kill them and brings them back.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I want to know why he's become like, hey, no killing. I'm like, what?
Why, Dominic? Because he's an anti-hero now, and we want to make him more honorable in the show so that people can root for him more. Nothing in the actual text. It's just
I need to know when did he change? When did he change? Because I felt like if he was with some honor, he would never worked for Jabba the Hutt. He would never took that job. And when I read in the comics, I mean, this don't seem like the same guy.
Right.
At least from this episode. From this episode, this is not the same guy I read in the comics that I read in the Bounty Hunter comic. I think that's still going on. And what I've seen from him in the brief time I've seen him in the movies, what he did, because like I felt like this guy wouldn't work for Jabba the Hutt if he is like that, because Jabba the Hutt's nothing's honorable about him.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm curious to see what was the change. I mean, it's probably a change that makes sense. I mean, no, the show overall, it's fine. But I was kind of hoping he'd be more. I'm not saying he should rule, like he said, was rule with respect. And I feel like you still can do that without being like, oh, he's like the lovable warlord. I don't think he needs to be that. I mean, not saying he is, but it's just, I don't know. I was looking for a little more darker tone with him, honestly. Mm-hmm. And I guess, I mean, yeah, I was looking for a darker tone. I was looking for a little darker tone. And I'm not saying it had to be freaking rated R, but I don't know, a little PG-13. I don't need him to be, I don't want him to be the Mandalorian, because I feel like we had the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I feel like. I almost feel like he's closer to, as of right now, this is only the first episode, though. Maybe something will change. He feels like the Mandalorian, and I don't want him to be that. I want him to be like someone he will take it further. Like, and he's willing to do it. Like, it's not like he's willing to do it, and he has no problem. Like, he's no second guessing or anything. Mm-hmm. That's what I felt like. And I was hoping to explain what changed, if there was a change. I mean, it has to be a change. What changed caused him to be that way.
Yeah, they definitely have to explain that stuff, because right now it's kind of bouncing between that time where he was, he escaped the Sarlacc and kind of got captured, and then is also bouncing to modern era. So you're seeing that like lighter side, but then you're not seeing one way or the other out of that earlier Boba Fett. Like, you can kind of understand, like, maybe his thought process changes a little bit when he almost dies in the Sarlacc pit, but then you should also see it like evolve from there. And maybe that's what we are seeing with like the Tusken Raiders or whatever. Maybe he's going to adopt whatever that leader that we see in that episodes, maybe he sees like that guy is ruling more with respect than fear or something like that, and that's where he's adopting it from. But honestly, at the same time, I'm shocked to kind of not see him just like cold-bloodedly kill that Rodian, I think they are, the little guy with the antennas, when he snitches on him, like when he's trying to escape the first time. Like, I'm a little surprised that he's just not like, fuck you. What was
up with that Rodian? Like, did he just want to be a slave?
Maybe he knew something that Boba Fett didn't know. And he's like, this guy gives me 3 hots and a cot. I'm sticking here.
Okay.
He's got Stockholm Syndrome, Dominic.
All right. So that's all you watch, right?
Yeah, that's what I watched. Yeah. What have you been watching?
You watch quite a bit. So I only watched the Book of Boba, and I mean, I've just been watching what I've been saying before, like Naruto and One Piece, which after this arc, I'm curious if there's any good arc after One Piece. I'm not sure. I might take a break from it, because I think I watched like 200 something fucking episodes of it, and there's like 700 of them out there, and I don't think I'll be going right straight through. And Naruto is a lot too, but it's not that much. Not as much as that one, but there's a lot. But there's an ending, and I know I'm not going to be watching the Boruto, I think it's called, where his son. Mm-hmm. I heard that sucked, so I was like, okay, yeah, I'll stop when I'll stop with Naruto then. But I'm at an arc where it's pretty good. Like, his people are dying, and like that's close to him, and like he's finally learned who he really is, and he's finally getting stronger. So it's like, okay, I like this progression. of like how people always hated him in this village. Well, not hated him, but they just kind of disliked him. They see him as a troublemaker and things, but how he's grown from that to now he's the hero of the village. And it took a while. I mean, shucks, I don't know what episode it is by numbers, but I know it was like season 7 or 8 based on how to do seasons of Shippuden, and that's after of like 5 or 8 seasons of Naruto when he was a little kid, so now he's a teenager. And so it's been a lot of episodes. So it's been like a long growth from him going from a kid that everybody's annoyed of and making fun of and stuff to now he's respected now to the point like everybody respects him. And now I guess is the arc, I guess that's supposed to happen, is him finding his friend that has been gone for a very long time now. But like, guess he's probably gonna fight him. There's going to be a battle between them two or something like that. And then I guess I don't know if that'll be it. I mean, that's all I really want. That's closure for me. That's all I really want is to see that happen. But yeah, the series is good. I mean, it's still the problems I have is what I probably have with all animes, that it's a lot of filler. Because right now I'm at a part of filler. Because after this big thing happened, they're doing a bunch of flashbacks when he was a kid. I mean, hey, they're funny episodes, but I was like, I wish they were in the original one then. For I have to do a bunch of flashbacks. I just want to go right straight through. So I might actually be skipping these to get back on track to the main story. Then you have the problem of, fight scenes going for fucking 10 episodes, like between one person. It's like, it's just funny because I just think about like watching a old cartoon, American cartoon, like a superhero cartoon, something like that. Let's say like Spider-Man, and he's fighting Dr. Octopus. Like, he fought Dr. Octopus, I think it was like a 2-parter. I guess if there was a Japanese anime, that thing would be the whole fucking season probably. Just fighting Dr. Octopus.
Spider-Man's got to get stronger.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I can't beat him. I got to go train. Yep. I got to go out and train with Iron Man. Iron Man is going to train me, and then I'm going to come back stronger than ever and beat Dr. Octopus. And also with Japanese anime, see, they make it so that, with these type of anime, because there's different types, they're all the same. But it's like, yeah, you fight somebody, you're not as strong as them. And then if you're not as strong as them, you don't beat them at all. Then you have to go, you get hurt, or somebody has to come save you who is stronger or something. And then they retreat or something like that. Or somebody, they'll beat you up and they'll just leave and say, you're not worth it. Or something like that, or they think you killed you and then someone saves you and then you become stronger and then you can fight them now. Like, that's how it works. But see, in American like cartoons or like superhero shows of that ilk, you don't have to be stronger. It's not about being stronger than the guy or training harder. It's just like a basically situational, basically awareness. Like, you might use something against them, or you outsmart them, or something of that ilk. It's not about strength. The whole point is that, hey, this guy's not as strong as Spider-Man. I mean, this guy is stronger than Spider-Man or stronger than Batman. And it's like, how Batman's going to beat him. And it's not about them beating him because they got stronger. It's about them intelligence or whatever to figure out a way to counteract their strength. I noticed that with a lot of these shows. It's like, oh, see, Japanese, they go by strength, while Americans, it's not about the like freaking brute strength a lot of times. Like, they might have the enemy might be stronger, or hell, the hero might be stronger, but the enemy's a smart dude. Like, come on, like Lex Luthor. Like, he's not strong as Superman, but he does a lot of things that out to counter Superman's strength and everything like that. Like, these Japanese shows, they be having so many episodes. Like, they be on for so long. But it's the same arc. Like, One Piece, that's how it is. I think it's at the point where Luffy, the main character, because he fought somebody who was just so much stronger than him. And then, I don't know when he trained. That's the thing. He just said, hey, I learned, like he fought this other guy, said, hey, I learned that I have to get stronger. So now I'm doing my new move. I was like, what the hell did you train? I don't remember an episode where you stopped and learned your new moves. Like, you would just, like, you just came up with that. I was like, whatever. But is this the point? Yeah, he gets real strong. And then he's at a point where he can fight these guys that are super strong or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So what else did I watch? Oh, Black Jesus. Black Jesus, it ended in 2019, the third season, but I didn't know there was a third season. I thought it was only 2 seasons, honestly. And so when I saw HBO Max, they had like new Black Jesus. I was like, new. I was like, what do you mean new? Because it was already up there on HBO Max, but it was just the first 2 seasons. And I guess they added a third one. And I was like, oh, crap. I didn't even know there was a third season of Black Jesus. So I watched a few of those episodes, and they were funny. And this is after Charlie Murphy passed away. He was a regular on the show. But they do mention him, about him passing. But they didn't really say how he passed, though. They just mentioned him in passing, like, hey, Black Jesus, saying, like, he's in heaven. Everything hanging around his pops or something like that. Mm-hmm. So that was cool. But it's funny. I still enjoy it. I still think it's hilarious. Some of the regulars are still there, a few of them, not all of them. But actually, in a later episode, you actually see like previous regulars come as like guest stars or something up there. Like I see them. I said, oh, okay. Like there was the cop lady, Hispanic cop lady who was up there quite a few times, and her boyfriend who was always with Black Jesus, and she still didn't like him hanging out with Black Jesus because, of course, a lot of people don't believe him, like he's really Jesus or whatever. But some of the people, they know he's Jesus because they see him do miracles, they see him do things like that. It's pretty funny, and I'm assuming it's like coming back anymore. But yeah, it was. I mean, I thought it was a good show. I don't know what Aaron McGruber is doing now. I know HBO was supposed to do the Boondocks comeback. I don't know if that's still happening.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything recently about it.
Yeah, so I have no idea what's going on with that. But yeah, I gotta finish it. I think I got probably like 3 episodes or 4 episodes left in this season. I don't know how. I'm gonna say maybe it's 10. I'm not sure how many episodes it is, but yeah, I still like it. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was still pretty funny. Yeah, I think that's it. I'm trying to think. Did I watch anything else? Nah, I think I'm good. So I guess we're getting to what we're playing. So I guess you go ahead.
All right. So I got back into playing Death's Door. Pretty significantly far into that now. I think I've got 2 of the what they call giant souls of the seemingly 3 that I need to collect to beat that game. I'm having a good time with it, but I think the thing that's stopping me from enjoying it on a level that I would like to is the lack of a map. Like there is no map whatsoever in that game, and everything intertwines.
Oh yes, I think that's the problem I had too.
Yeah,
and I was thinking I was doing something wrong, so I was like, maybe I can't. Maybe there's a map. I just don't know where I'm supposed to look. Okay, so where's the no map?
Yeah, all there's no map whatsoever. Because I was thinking the same thing too. Like maybe I need to pick it up somewhere or do something. Yeah, and I looked it up, and even online, at least what I've found, there's not like a good map that's gonna actually show me what I want to see. Like I think this would work well with something like kind of a Metroid Prime map where it shows all the different things and then you can kind of spin it around and arrange it. And I think I was a little spoiled with Metroid Dread just having the map that it did because of all the like, here's the thing that you saw that you couldn't break yet, and here's that and this and the other thing, and everything that I'm reading online is like, oh yeah, they don't have a map because they want you to explore. And it's like, I get that, but also I feel like I'm just like going around in circles a lot of the time. And now that was kind of earlier in the game before I kind of got all the power-ups, and now I have all them. I'm on the path to where I need to go, but I'm going back to try and find some of the upgrades and whatnot, because you have health upgrades and magic upgrades that you get independent of like the stuff that you can also level up through the kind of currency that you're using. And I'm just trying to go through and find some of that stuff before I go try and fight this last boss, or the last boss before the last boss, or whatever it ends up actually being. And it's difficult to kind of to keep track of where I am, where I've been, what I tried to do and have been unsuccessful with. Like, there have definitely been some kind of like there's these portals that just take you to like kind of a battle arena where you're supposed to fight these enemies that I feel like are kind of more leveled up, overpowered guys that take a little more than even some of the bosses that I've fought so far. And it's just like, okay, maybe I don't want to keep just banging my head against this right now. I'm going to go try and find more health and then come back. But I'm honestly not entirely sure that I'm going to be able to find my way back to that place unless I like break out some graph paper or a notebook and say like, oh, I go through this portal from the death agency or whatever. You know, you use the different doors to kind of shortcut around the world a little bit. I'm going to use this door and then I have to go up and left and right, you know, that kind of thing. I don't want to go that in depth into it. And I feel like a map in this game would have, you know.
No, dang, you just got to be like the old ways, like my old man used to do, graphing paper.
Yeah.
Something. And you draw the lines of like where you're going in the dungeon.
Honestly, like I am so close to doing that, honestly, because I want to enjoy this game more. And I think I would, even if I did that, as long as I had some kind of references to like, this is where I've been. I feel like I've, you know, explored all my options in this area. I'm going to like scratch it in gray or something with my pencil. And, you know, it's too much work though, when there's so many other games that I would also like to play. And this is something that's in basically every game ever now. Like, you've got me playing like 1986 fucking original Metroid here with no map.
You know what? Does Dark Souls have a map?
Honestly, I have no idea. I've never spent enough time with Dark Souls.
I think they don't, because it wasn't that. I think I mentioned it because I said people were saying, "Oh, they can't do a map because of how many layers there are in there." Like some people were saying that was the excuse, was that because how some maps you have so many layers. I was like, well, right. You just make it a floor,
right? Exactly. Yeah. No, apparently it does not. So yeah.
Yeah, and so maybe that's what they were trying to go for and say, hey, people like Dark Souls, and Dark Souls won't have a map. Which I'm thinking, dude, well, just put a bold, say no map, no bold, or something like that, man. Jesus,
well, that's the thing is, I add the option in there because people that don't want to use the map don't have to use the map. But I would very much like to use the map. Exactly. That's what gets me about all those, especially like the Dark Souls stuff. And years ago when they started to get big, is like, oh, you can't add difficulty levels because, you know, that'll ruin the experience. And it's like, how is that going to ruin your experience? You don't have to turn it on easy. You can leave it on whatever the default setting is. That doesn't change anything for you. Same with like Psychonauts adding invincibility and stuff like that, or control. Like, I don't need to go in the menu and turn that on. I can if I want to, or if I need to, you know, if I have some sort of disability that, you know, makes it hard for me to do something. So it's like, I want to experience this game, but I know I won't be able to do it with my dexterity or something like that. Like, give these people the options and give me the option to have a goddamn map. Doesn't feel like it would be that much work. You know, everything else about this game I really enjoy. But it's that little thing that is missing that changes this from like top tier contender of, you know, one of my favorite games of the year to like, this was okay. I enjoyed it while I played it, but I'm never going to revisit that game again, kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, otherwise, like, I hate to nitpick on it. I mean, it's kind of a big thing to call it a nitpick. But like everything else about that game I'm enjoying. I like the simplistic graphics. I like the combat. I think it's smart, and you know, the story that they're telling in it is interesting. You know, it's basically like you're this crow soul collector guy, and then you're going around and you're going like, oh, why are there all these other souls of crows that I'm picking up? And you know, the story around that kind of unfolds.
The final boss is going to be like a giant scarecrow or something.
I don't know. I feel like I'd have to look at the cover art because I think the other bosses are on there so far. But the boss fights that I've had so far have been very clever, and I've liked them a lot more than some of these like door encounters where it's just a really powerful enemy, because they do really interesting things. Like the second boss was this frog guy, and he's basically like destroying the floor pieces under you. But then he has this thing on his back that you shoot with the arrow, and it makes those things reappear.
I don't remember. I thought I fought two bosses. Maybe was there a sub boss in between that boss?
There's kind of like these bigger enemies that you fight that maybe you're thinking is like a boss kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, overall, I think it's a very good game that kind of falls short because of the lack of a map. So, yeah, that's what I played this week. What have you been playing, Dominic?
All right, so I've been playing some more Cyberpunk. I actually tried not the Stadia version, but just the regular PC version. I loaded that back up, and I actually got it running to run somewhat stable on my PC. Cool. Because I just got too desperate for like cheats. I was like, man, I'm tired of taking forever to level up, and I'm tired of getting to like just the well, see, I think I was calling these things with side missions, but they're not really side missions. The side missions are somewhat in depth, like the bigger side missions, but then you got the smaller little side missions, which you just see on the map, like, hey, stop this crime from happening, or somebody might give you this little gig to do, like to steal something, and it's just pretty simple to do. Well, it's a simple. The gig is simple, but I mean, it could be hard because the enemies are higher leveled up or something, and that's why I get pissed off about. I'll go there and then they're higher leveled, but I guess what it says, threat level high and something, that means they're higher leveled. But I was like, okay, let me just try, and it's just the thing is, it's only hard because they'll just take a longer time to kill. And I can't sneak up on them. Like, even when I do sneak, if I'll sneak up on them, but I can't, I grab them, but then they can push me off because they're too higher level. Since they're higher level, I can't either break their necks or just put them in a sleeper hold. And it sucks. I was like, oh, come on, man. I said, don't do that. Like, I'm right here, so I'd rather just do this mission now. And I'm just trying to really just hurry up and level up just to get some new moves. So now I'm busy like, okay, I can't do this one because they're too strong, and it'll just take me forever just to beat it. I have to keep finding different gigs to do so I can level up. It was just taking too much time. So I said, fuck it, I'm just going to try to load this game up. And said, because I was looking somewhere, somebody said, hey, I'm running this game on their 970. And I was like, man, why can't I can't run on my 970. So I was like, maybe I got to try something. And I just tried some settings, and eventually it got working. I learned that, hey, if I just turn everything off in the background and have nothing going, it runs okay. And so that's what I did. Yeah. And so I've been playing that way, and I turned to like quick level up, and I start adding things like, hey, I like to have those freaking blades in my arms. Like that's fun to have. And I also like some of the tech stuff I can do. Like I can force people to do suicide. I can like put it in them. They'll take out their gun and shoot themselves. Wow. Like, oh, this is awesome. So I was just doing that all the time. I'm like, just say suicide. And since I got it so that I'm always stealth, no matter what, like they can't see me. I was like, so because after you use so many cyber attacks, you reveal your position to them.
Oh, okay.
But so now they still can't see me, so it doesn't matter. So I can still keep using all these cool tech against them. And I was like, oh, good. Like I could try all the stuff I couldn't do in a normal game. Also, I got it so I got some more enhancements to my body where now I can double jump. And you also could do one where you can run faster and things of that nature. And also you see a change in your body. So I was looking at myself, like when I was changing my equipment, I saw since I got these enhancements, my body was more modded. You can see the lines and stuff. So my body does change because on my other game, I don't have that many mods, so I still look pretty normal. I just have a little basic mods, but now I'm kind of all decked out and everything. So, yeah, I've gotten a lot farther the story. I was reading how some people believe that some things were taken out or they just couldn't finish, so they didn't make it. It didn't make it to the final game. Like, because you can start out the game as 3 different people. Like, there's 3 different pathways. I know one is a nomad. A nomad are the people who they travel all the time with this group, and they don't never live in one place. They stay usually outside of cities of that nature. Like they do trades and stuff like that with people, but yeah, they stay secluded to live their own ways, you know. And that's where I was. I had left my group though for reasons I still don't really know. I don't know if I ever find out. Maybe there's a story point in the game where you find out why you left your group, but I haven't found out yet.
Yeah.
And then I went to Night City. There's another one where you're a corporal. Now I don't know what these other ones are. I'm just going by what I hear from what I deduce in the game. Like corporals seem like they work for corporate people and things of that nature. So I don't know what the story is of how you got to be where you is now from corporal, because the only thing I ever done was nomad, even both games I played. So I kind of wanted to do different pathways. And the third pathway, I don't remember what it was. I think a street guy. So you were probably already in Night City then. I mean, I'm guessing corporal in the street rat or whatever it's called, you were probably just living there already. Or in another city. I have no idea if you travel from another city and came to this one. But anyway, from what I read is that these 3 pathways don't really change much, except for like some of the dialogue choices you get to say, and there's no really big mission based on your pathway, except for the beginning mission, how you start the game out. They think that was taken out because of certain things in the game. Like there's a point where you could be with this woman named Meredith, and like if you could do a job with her, all depends on your choices. And like then you have this like sex scene with her. Oh, you could have her if you choose to, but it just goes away. Like you don't see her no more. And the people thinking that was supposed to be a big thing if you were a corporal or something. Like that was going to be a big path. Like you do more missions with her. Like I thought I was going to do like a whole bunch of missions with her or something, because I chose that pathway in the Stadia game. The other game, I got her killed, I think, because I didn't do what she wanted on this one mission that you do with her. And next day I come, the guy said, "Oh, you won't be seeing her no more." Someone said something like that. Because I think he would have died. I think if I would have done what she wanted. But yeah, and there were some other instances, some other examples they talked about how it seemed like it would have been a bigger deal with these people if you were set that path. Like the path with the person who's sort of my love interest now, she's a nomad of another clan. So me being a nomad, I say a lot of things that kind of relates to her. So people are thinking like, hey, they probably was going to make it so that you can only be with these certain people if you were on a certain path, but then they just probably chucked it out when they couldn't do it. They said, hey, we're just going to kind of combine everything together and cut some things out that we don't want to do. I mean, that we want to do, but we don't have time to do. Which is sad, because I see the potential. Like, this game has a lot of potential. It's just, I don't get that feeling like I get from The Witcher, like, of just exploring. Like, exploring the city, it looks nice and everything, but it gets to a point where I just don't care. I just want to do a mission. But the missions, like some of the side missions, they are in depth. They like this. There seem like some good stories, but nothing that grabbed me like The Witcher side missions yet. But there's some decent ones. But I feel like it was a lot of potential with this game. Like this game could have been so much bigger. Maybe eventually when they do the DLC, you'll see something big from them. Maybe they get their stuff together. But this game is okay. Like it's not horrible. Like the bug stuff, there's still bugs, because even the Stadia version, like I'm seeing things happen, like that's really fucks up the game. So there's still some problems there, but like it's not a horrible game, but the game itself is not great. It's not what I expected. Like this is not what I thought it was gonna be so much better than this.
Right. Coming off The Witcher 3, they kind of set high expectations. Yeah.
Like going through missions, it seems like you just got two choices basically. Like either be stealth or don't be stealth. Like that's it. And it just, there are different ways. There's still some open-ended ways, especially, but mostly with stealth is open-ended. After you just go all out shooting, that's it. And the stealth is not as great as I want it to be because sometimes the AI is just, they catch me and it's like, this shit ain't caught me. So what the fuck? And yeah, the AI is still not great. The AI is still not as good as I thought or realistic as it probably should be.
Mm-hmm.
The driving is, I guess, is okay. I don't hate it. It's all right. You do feel difference in some vehicles. Just that I don't know why I need these vehicles. Because every now and then you see someone pop up and say, hey, I'm selling this car. I'm thinking like, why do I need these cars? Like, I don't even know why. Like, there's no reason. Now, there's a racing mission, but they're easy. And like, I think only one race I messed up on because I overturned, but I got second place and that was good enough for that mission.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what's the big deal having cars. Like you get different bikes, the motorcycles too, but there's nothing, there's no advantage of having like a better car really to me. There's no advantage to it. So yeah, I have no idea why they what they're going for here, but whatever. What else we got? Nothing else, but I'm still enjoying my time with it though. I'm enjoying my time with it. I wish it was, like I said, I wish it was better than what I thought, but yeah, it's still an alright game. I'm playing some more Trails. I'm thinking maybe closer to the end than the beginning. I think I passed the halfway point at least. Mm-hmm. A lot of mystery here. It's like I got questions answered, but then a whole lot more questions are coming through. Like what's behind this plot. It's a lot of layers to this game. And I like it. I like that. I like the mystery to it. This game. And I finally saw the last person of my class who was in my class from the previous games. He showed up. Like everybody's always showed up in like epic fashion. Like you fight somebody, then you get like, oh no, I'm getting hurt or something. Then some classmate comes and save you. It seems like that always happens. Or they save you in a way like, not that they're just stronger, but that they come through and causes disruption so you can get away or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally saw the last guy who was in my class. So I was like, okay, so now I basically saw almost everybody from the previous games now. So, but there's still a lot of mystery and intrigue with this. Like I don't know. I know who's behind it, but I don't know what their plan is. That's the thing. I know basically almost all the players on the field now, but I don't know what are their plans. Like where's their goals? And that's the issue. Like it's not an issue, but that's being the issue that's part of the story. That you're trying to figure out what are these people doing? Like why are they doing this around the country, around all the continent basically. And like what are their goals for everyone else? And are they bad? And like I don't even know if they're bad or not. They're bad in the sense that some people do die, but I don't know if their overall goal is to bring the country together just in their own image or like what? Like I don't see like a nefarious thing like, oh, I want to rule the world kind of thing, you know?
Okay.
You don't see it like that. And which is good. They complicate things to a point because it's not easy. Like I say, it's not easy just a bad guy because even your own government is doing things that you don't really care for. So I don't really have a side. My side is just protecting the people around me, basically.
Right.
Just protecting the folks, basically. And just trying to figure out what's going on. What else I played? I played some Grand Theft Auto 5 because my friends, they wanted to play it.
Mm-hmm.
And I played some other dudes too. We was trying to do the new missions with Franklin, but we couldn't get that started for I don't know what the reason was, honestly. But we end up just racing, basically, which I don't understand. Why they just want to race in Grand Theft Auto 5 when all of us have Forza Horizon, and why can't we just go race there where it's better? But whatever.
Yeah.
So I ended up racing there. I mean, it's fun because there's some crazy fucking tracks they got in that game. Like this tracks where I'm just looping and just jumping you're just in the sky in a fucking city on these tracks which define gravity, because I don't know what the hell hold these tracks up in the sky. But you're just it's almost like some Trackmania shit, and you're just like flying and like doing these big jumps. It was fun. I mean, it's fun playing it. It was going through that stuff. But I really wanted to try out on a mission. I played some on MK11. I finished the original story because you unlock things when you do the story mission. Because I can't play as what's her name? The one who's the ice woman.
Frost.
Her name is Frost. She's his name is Killer Frost.
The ice woman who's a robot ninja.
Yeah. So she has the same name as Killer Frost. Oh my god.
Yep.
So I mean, and they're part of the same company. So anyway, yeah, Frost. You only unlock her through the story. So you don't have to play the whole story. Just get to the point where she's there. But I just went through the whole story. I beat it with both the endings, and now I think I'm gonna go back and do the the new story, the aftermath, because this is the Xbox version. So that's why I had to do this over again. But hey, you can just skip, because that's what I did. I just kept skipping to the fights, which is pretty fast. Because like on the other consoles, you have to, when you do want to skip real fast, you got to wait still, because it's still loading. While here, it's almost instant, basically.
That's cool.
And yeah, you get to that shit really fast. What else I played? I played some more Gonk because I wanted to get some recorded video of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm at the point where you're finally seeing like a civilization. Well, a civilization that used to be there, like no intelligent life. What did I see? I'm trying to think. I did see something. Well, I saw enemies, but I think I talked about them before. Yeah, it's just some puzzles you do. Like I said, it's a very mellow game. Like with the puzzles, even the enemies. You don't really. Well, I guess technically you die, but I just loaded right back up where I was previously at, so it's not like it's a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just a mellow game. It's really nothing. It's not bad, but it's not great either. At least I haven't got to a part where I found it to be great or anything. But I just wanted to post. I was like, I want to play something and freaking record a video, so I just play some of that. Mm-hmm. I also recorded some of Forza. I actually did the first like story mission, like because I was like, I did this mission. And it's like, oh, then the title came up. I say, oh shit. I said, of all this time, like I didn't do a story mission. I was just doing regular races where I was closest to.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, oh, that like this is the game started. It has like I thought it already started. I said, okay. So yeah, I did. Also did a event where like everybody could be part of. Unfortunately, I was the only one doing it though. So it was an event to, what was it? To drift? Was it drifting or speed tests? I think it was speed tests. And like you have to be in the zone and speed, and when you get to the certain point, everybody gets a prize. But since I was the only one, it took forever. Luckily, I did get to do complete two of them, before it got to a point where it was too many points for me to get by myself. But I was like, oh man, it's like nobody doing this. Like I was hoping that maybe they could put you in a server where other people are doing this. But maybe I was the only one doing it in the whole fucking world. I don't fucking know. But I was like, Jesus Christ. Because I'm like, does it have to be where the server I'm on? Can't you just transfer me and say like, hey, if nobody's joined, can you just like put me in somebody else's server so I could be part of them? Because I was so boring. It's like, oh man, nobody's doing this event with me. But I mean, it's fun. I mean, but it's not fun doing it by yourself. But I did some races. I did a few races. What I do? I did like a dirt race. I think I lost. You'll see it. Like I was in last fucking place. And then I realized like, oh, you know what? I didn't make this easier for myself. This is too hard. And then I forgot to rewind. I forgot the rewind button. I said, yeah, that's what it was. I was like, yo, shit, I can't be rewinding this whole fucking time. I totally forgot. So I fixed that, and then I got first place in the next race. But that was too easy though. I was like, oh, this is too easy.
There is like a delicate balance between like, oh, I've made this way too easy for myself in Forza.
Yeah. So I gotta fix that so I can at least have some type of challenge, because that can get boring really fast. But yeah, the game it looked great. I mean, it looks great. It runs great. I haven't played it on the original Xbox, but I'll play this. I see a difference between that and Forza 4 on my original Xbox through the streaming. So it does look better. Oh yeah, and also I changed it because I put it from, it was on quality before, I put it on performance, and it does run a whole lot better. And I can't tell quality, I can't tell the graphically what changed, but performance wise, I thought the performance was definitely better, and I was like, oh yeah, I like it. I like this mode better. So I'm going to keep it up there. All right. Anything else I played? Was there anything else I played? I don't think so. So, yeah, so I guess that is it. So I guess we'll take a quick break. When we get back, we get to the flashback segment.
All right.
And we're back. And now we're doing the flashback for the new year, 2022, people. But actually, I have one for 2021 because I didn't do, because we've been off for about a couple weeks, or 1 week. I don't know how long we've been off, but off a week. So there was one big game, a huge game that came out 20 years ago in 2021, which was Final Fantasy X. Came out the week of Christmas. I remember because I think my friend told me, he was like
trying to get that game, Dominic.
My friend told me, because he's like, oh, I got it. I got the game. Because like my friend at the time, he was already out of high school. Yeah, because I was in 10th grade. He was in college. So he had bought the game. And then I just told my mom, hey, go get it. She worked at Toys R Us. So I was like, oh, you got to get this for me for Christmas. That's the other game I want. Because she said I can get, 4 games? She got me 4 games nice. For Christmas. So yeah, she got me Devil May Cry, Metal Gear Solid 2, Jack and Daxter, and Final Fantasy X. And then I used my grandma's money to get me Grand Theft Auto 3. And because my dad said I couldn't get it because it was too violent and it had sex in there. And I was like, I was not supposed to learn how to do sex. But that game, Final Fantasy X was awesome because, I mean, it was the first Final Fantasy to have voice acting, and that was just amazing within itself. That was just like, oh God, like you just cried. He said, yes, no more reading, even though you did have to read a little bit. But it was also my favorite one for a time until now. When I go back and think, I like Final Fantasy IX. I like Final Fantasy IX better than Final Fantasy X. But at the time, Final Fantasy X was the best. But me, I think the voice acting really just jumped it up. But it was a good story too. It was a more streamlined story. I think I will say that of all the ones at that time. Now I think there's been some. Actually, no. That probably is still the most streamlined story of the games, where I can really. There's not a whole lot of confusion. I didn't get confused a lot. I can understand what's going on. Like nothing came out there like, okay, I question this. I don't get it. I will say that, and I did like it. And it had a very sad ending. Like that ending was so sad. Spoiler alert. I mean, the main character dies. Now I think in some things he came back in like those games, maybe in 10-2 at the end if you do something. I forget what it is, but I don't count that. That shit's bullshit. This is the story. he dies. And that's what he needs to be. He needs to be, well, technically, now, okay, that's the confusing stuff. I guess technically he is already dead.
I was going to say, isn't he like dead the whole time or something?
Yeah, like he's a memory or something. But that's probably the most confusing thing is that shit. But other than that, yeah, just keep it simple. Say, hey, okay, this guy's a ghost, and he's just doing shit. All right, but I really enjoyed it. I was like, man, this game was great. All right, so now we're gonna go back. Now we're going back 10 years, 2022. Really, no games came out this first week because it's only January 2nd. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the covers, the video game covers for this year. So we're going back to 2012, and we got Nintendo Power, and in front of Nintendo Power, we got Kid Icarus is on the front. And I guess this is what's like the big deal. He has not been in gaming since the Nintendo?
Yeah.
Well, not counting Smash Brothers. Yeah. No. Well, yeah, yes. Well, he was in the he was in the Wii Smash Brothers, but he finally got his own game on the 3DS. That the 3D, when I played the game, it looked good, like the 3D and stuff like that. The gameplay wasn't really all there for me though. It was adequate. I forgot who did I borrow a game from? Did I borrow it from you? Did you have this game?
I'm trying to think because I don't necessarily remember playing that game, but I also feel like maybe I picked it up at some point.
Oh, I bought it for somebody. When I finally got a 3DS. Somebody let me hold this game.
Would you have had like Games and Flicks or something around that time?
Maybe. No, because when you got the 3DS, did I have a service?
No.
Well, it would have been Games and Flicks. It would have been GameFly. I think GameFly was the only thing that existed.
Oh, okay.
Since we did this podcast. I don't think I had GameFly. I don't remember. I felt like somebody let me hold it, though. I felt like it was maybe somebody at Walmart. I think I asked a guy to hold it. I forget. I felt like somebody let me hold the game. But, yeah, the gameplay wasn't all there for me. But I liked how the 3D looked. It looked good on the 3DS, like how they did things. But, yeah, I mean, it was cool, but that's it. I mean, they haven't done another Kid Icarus game, right? Or anything?
No.
Yeah,
I guess haven't done anything with him since.
Yeah, they said fuck it. They said, nah, these people don't care about.
They also screwed him over with that game because that's the one where it was like you need 2 joysticks, and they had the little joystick add-on thing.
Oh shit, that was that game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, they really did.
Or you could play with like the on-screen thing or something that was terrible. It was bad.
Okay, I cannot find my Egg McMuffin. I lost it.
Oh no.
What the fuck happened? Where did it go? Oh, there you are. It's behind my water bottle. I don't know how I missed it.
It moved back there. It didn't want to get eaten.
All right. So where am I at now, Daniel? Where am I going? Okay, I'm trying to find my tabs here. All right, there we go.
EGM.
So we got Electronic Gaming Monthly 10 years ago. They got Darksiders 2 on the front. I was really waiting for this game. And at the ring reviews, they were good reviews, but it just wasn't it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I mean, like I was really, for some reason, I really thought like, oh man, this is going to be like epic, like so much better than the first game. And it just didn't turn out. I mean, it turned out to be okay, but it just, I don't know. I think I played some and I was like, man, I was expecting something more. I think my expectations were way too high probably for this game. And that I didn't come in with just basic expectations. Like, hey, I wouldn't mind just more of the same. And I think it was, I mean, it had some differences to it.
Yeah, they added more like RPG elements and stuff.
Yeah, but
looting.
I never did finish it. I think I didn't play a good chunk of it. I think did I get to the first boss? If I did, I don't remember what the first boss was. So, yeah, I didn't even play that much of it for some reason. Or maybe the timing. I don't know. It was the timing maybe for me wasn't good, but yeah, I just did not stick with this game. Even though at the time, when I finished Darksiders 1 and how it ended with the other three horsemen just like in the distance coming, like I was just thinking like, oh god, this is gonna be epic or something like that. And when I read reviews of the game, it didn't come. It came off like just it was good, and I was thinking like, oh man, I want something great. But I probably still would have liked it. But I just for whatever reason, I just didn't get into it. Have you played this?
No, I think I still got stuck on the idea of having to beat the first one, and I still never got around to that. I think the furthest I got was to where like trying to kill all those angels, and they just kept destroying me. So
oh my god, they fumbled the ball. Is it an end zone? The Falcons got a touchdown? I'm watching the Bills-Falcons game. It looked like it was snowing there. Well, I don't know if it still is. It's not a lot of snow on the ground, but it looked like it's cold as hell.
They're in Buffalo then?
Oh, definitely. No, they're in Atlanta. They're in Atlanta, Daniel. They're snowing inside the dome.
Yeah, that's true. It's Christmas time, Dominic. Maybe they drop fake snow.
But no, yeah, Buffalo, yeah. Look at that. I mean, how cold it is there and how we're feeling here. Yep. How we're feeling here, it's 60s. It's fucking ridiculous.
It really is.
All right, so what we got here? We got official Xbox magazine, OXM. We got Ninja Gaiden 3 on the front here. And oh my god, he has no mask. So that's what he looks like? And he's very bloody.
A beautiful man, Dominic.
Yeah, he's very a lot of blood, or look like a mist around his arm there. It says, "Get ready for the most brutal game on Xbox." Oh, really? Game brutal. Of the Year awards too. The best, worst, and weirdest of 2011. Plus 30 hot games reviewed. I never played any of the Ninja Gaidens after 1. The new ones, anyway. The newer ones. I think I got to the second stage. Well, I call it second stage, but it was after the first stage. It took forever just to beat that first boss. And then I got there and I died from just regular enemies. And I was like, this game too hard. Yeah. It's like, this game. And Xbox didn't have their game. They didn't have like a Game Shark or Action Replay. Like, it was like a save thing kind of thing with them. They didn't have where you could actually go in and do cheats. And that pissed me off. I was like, God damn it. So now I can't even beat the game. I said, I have to get good. That's before people said get good. That was before the time people said get good. I just said
before
fuck it.
The Ninja Dog mode too, probably.
Yeah. Sure. Oh yeah. See, yeah, I would love that Ninja Dog mode. All right. What else we have here? We got Edge magazine for January. Look at this, Dad. Apple is on the front. Core gaming. Apple redefined interface, audience, and distribution. What's next, man? Apple is getting to gaming hard. They're dominating.
Yep. Turns out they were right. They were just talking about iPhones.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's basically what it is. It's like it's nothing else. I mean, it's just iPhones, and yeah, they're iPhones they sell games on iPhones, which they were already doing.
A little blurb on here. Since launch in 2007, iOS has laid down the new agenda for portable gaming, leaving legacy players such as Nintendo on the ropes. On page 76, we look at how Apple did it and identify the 50 best games to play today on iPhone and iPad. Yeah, Nintendo's really struggling in that handheld department, aren't they?
I know, exactly. They're all right. And they got games on Apple.
That's wild. I mean, I guess in a way that is a win for Apple, right?
Yeah. Hype. Alan Wake's American Nightmare. Spec Ops The Line. Oh yeah, Spec Ops The Line. Final Fantasy 13 2. Soul Calibur 5 and I Am Alive. I Am Alive. Isn't that the digital game?
Digital game.
It's. It's. I don't know. It wasn't a physical game, was it? Was it? It's like a. Is that a horror game?
Yeah, that was the Xbox like live
the water
exclusive
game?
thing.
Was that the water one?
I don't think it was the water one. I think it was like the postal. It was kind of similar, like had the same. I want to say that probably came out around the same time.
Yeah, because that game did come out in 2011.
Okay.
The water one. That was called
I was gonna say, is that Hydrophobia?
Hydrophobia, yeah, that was Hydrophobia. Okay. Yeah, I am allowed. Yeah, it was an Xbox Live Arcade game. Okay. PS Vita Power, Uncharted leads a killer launch lineup. When did the Vita come out? In like March?
I'm trying to remember, because I was still working part-time at Target, and that's why I picked it up eventually, because I kept seeing it, and then I was like, I want that thing. Let's see. North America, February, it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, February 15th of 2012.
It was earlier in the year.
Yeah. So we're coming up on it, Dominic, the anniversary.
The anniversary of the Vita, man. 10 years. What's PlayStation going to do? Nothing?
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
They're going to put Vita games on the Switch.
And here's the last cover for 2012, January 2012. We got Game Informer, South Park cover. Man. And this was a nice cover. I had this magazine. I think this is one of my last Game Informer magazines. Or the last one. I'm not sure. Because I definitely remember this one more vividly because it's one of the latest ones I had from the company. But yeah, that's cool how you see the reflection of the characters in the water. Yeah, this game was
for Stick of Truth, right?
Yeah. This game was great. This game was
it really was.
Yeah, it was good, man. Like one day I want to play it again. All right. So that is it for 2012. So now we're going back 20 years to 2002. We got PC Gamer on the front. Return to Castle Wolfenstein, the world exclusive review of this great game. Then just to know that it doesn't realize that it gets even better later on. But I heard good things about this one though. This game, got okay reviews.
Just look how shitty that model looks on there.
Oh, that is a horrible model. They literally put the game model in here.
I was gonna say, they didn't even try and touch that thing up at all. They just said, "Here you go. Here's the screenshot."
This is all just propaganda to join the military anyway for this magazine. Get the American flag and everything right there.
Yep.
What we got here? Great reviews. The Sims hot date. Is this the first time the Sims you can date in the Sims game? Absolutely. Wait a minute. So Sims 2 wasn't even out? Yeah, this is 2002. Shit. It's still the Sims. Yeah, the Sims 2 was probably like talked about, man. People just couldn't wait. Dark Age of Camelot. Microsoft Flight Sim 2002. Zoos Tycoon. And F1 2001. And look at this. City of Heroes. Oh, you remember that game, Daniel?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, man. I think I played it when it was like free to play.
Yeah. It always seemed cool.
It did. It
didn't seem like my type of thing necessarily.
The world's best, and I don't see what it says, Daniel. It says Games Magazine. It doesn't even say PC. Maybe it's behind his head, but since I don't see it, it's not there. So
it's just the world's best game magazine.
Game magazine, exactly. Whoa, they're getting full of themselves, Daniel.
Yeah, they are.
They say, yeah, fuck the PC. Yeah, we're just the best one. 7th annual Ultimate Strategy Guide and Tips Guide. Okay, who cares? All right, Network Your Home. A step-by-step guide to what you need and how to do it. Yes, I need to learn how to network my home, Dad. Plays online games. All right, so what we got here? Okay, I'm on the wrong one here. Nintendo Power. We got your favorite game up here, Pikmin.
Yes.
Grab it.
They were trying to convince me, Dominic. I had that cover. They were like, yo, you should buy Pikmin. And I was like, I want Pikmin. And then I was like, I never want Pikmin.
I can't really explain it. It was like the cover. It's a nice cover. It's very... what's the word I'm looking for?
Simplistic.
Yeah, simplistic, but still cool at the same time.
Yeah. This is definitely around the era when they started doing these more like simplistic.
Yeah, because that's all the 2011 and 12 was.
Things.
All the 10-year ones are very like, just simple. So this is when they started.
Yeah.
Probably. Oh, okay. Darn, man. Then this cover's gonna suck. I like the ones like Game Pro when there's a whole bunch of shit because
it's just trash everywhere.
Yeah. All right, so let's get here. We got the PlayStation Magazine. I believe this is the unofficial. Yes, with Final Fantasy X on front. And we got Yuna doing her Yuna dance or whatever, trying to summon. And also we got look at the Maximo. Look at him out there. He's not in his underwear though.
That's a quality screenshot too, right?
Yeah,
there.
I know. Good God, yeah. I mean, that's how the game looked. Wait, maybe it's quality back then. I'll probably say, "Oh my God, it looks amazing."
Oh, but also, what happened to like bull shots, Dominic? What happened to just touching up those screenshots, making them look incredible?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what the official PlayStation Magazine would do. But these guys, they're independent journalists.
They don't get paid. Yeah, they don't get paid that much to do that shit. And it said, new, never before seen levels. Oh, Max Payne action has a new master. And also full review. Oh, this is all about Final Fantasy X. Jack and Daxter, why the game rocks, and top tips you're not supposed to know.
Oh.
What tips you're not supposed to know?
You won't find out unless you buy this.
PlayStation 2 preview, which games will rule, when will blah, 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 blah online, and top game designers reveal something. I'm guessing they're saying when will they go online, I guess, PlayStation. Yeah. The first game, I believe it was EverQuest or Final Fantasy 11. It was one of those two.
Final Fantasy 11's the one that came packed in with the hard drive and Ethernet thing, right?
I thought it was EverQuest. But maybe you're right. I thought it was EverQuest, though.
Let's see.
But EverQuest was Sony too, wasn't it?
Yes.
Sony Online? Wasn't that Sony Online?
Tony Hawk 3.
Oh, that's right. Technically, yeah. I think Tony Hawk 3 was one of the first ones to actually be online. But I think it really, like you said, with the pack-in thing was...
I was going to say, I think that was even before that stuff. So you had to buy one of those to... I guess there was the slimline model that had Ethernet built in, right?
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. You got the... Yes. The hard drive was with Final Fantasy, right? That's what it was?
It's seemingly... I'm still not finding confirmation, but it does say here on the Wikipedia that it's the only game that required or was dependent on the hard drive.
Yeah, that's what it was, because my friend didn't get that. He had EverQuest, and I don't think...
it came with the 40 gig hard drive, Dominic. It was 40 gigs.
That was a lot, man.
We have flash drives that are carried around on our keys that are like terabytes now. It's ridiculous.
I mean, shit, the memory card was 8 megabit, Daniel.
I know.
Shit, 40 gigs, man. You fucking... I would not even come close to filling that thing up.
Yeah, that's wild, Dominic. We were there. We were at the dawn of the internet, Dominic.
We were. I watched them play that boring-ass game, EverQuest.
I remember watching that on like G4 or Tech TV or whatever it was called at the time, because they had that like show where they just talked about MMOs and they would like hop into the game and do little skits and stuff. And it's like, wow, this game looks like shit.
I remember my sister's boyfriend had the modem for the PlayStation 2. And because he was saying like, oh, you ain't got the modem, man? Yeah, you got to get that, man. You can play against people. I said, man, I can't beat the people who are just around the neighborhood. Ain't no way in fucking hell I'm going to be playing against somebody from around the country. Just whoop my ass. All right. So where I'm at now, Dan? Where I'm at? I'm at the Game Informer. Game Informer for 20 years ago.
Yeah,
and
put this crappy game on here.
Another Final Fantasy X. You know what? I think I meant to not do the PlayStation one and do this one. I just didn't take it off because this is the better one.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one's much better. Even though like the unofficial PlayStation ones, I always appreciate their like hand drawing things.
Yes,
but 9 times out of 10 they look awful.
Just because of the big, you don't like big boobs. That's why.
Like, there's not.
It's like, I mean, this one. Now this one isn't it?
She's secretly got them, Dominic. Her arm's just covering it.
All right, but yes, I had this magazine because I remember this one, Final Fantasy X. The Legend Lives On, the 10th Annual Video Game Awards. Now I want to know, did Game Informer put this in there? Because I was going to be like, how do you get this game in there? You just got the game. It's like the game literally just came out, but I don't think they did. I'm not sure, and I don't think I still had this magazine in the house. I think I threw that one away. Yeah. So yeah, this. I remember looking at this magazine. And it's like, yes, I cannot wait to get this game because this is when January 2002 was most likely beginning of December. You got this magazine, so I probably was reading the shit out of this fucking magazine, like for Christmas before Christmas. But yeah, the one right here, the woman next to the Catman, she's the one who just got her breasts just hanging fuck out. And then her finishing, like when you do like the when you finish the battle and she does her like victory dance thing, she just leaning all over and like her boobs just out there. That's like man, like 10th grade B was loving it.
I always thought she was like the bad person in this game.
Oh no, she's just a black mage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She's very subtle. Like she doesn't really show emotion. Like she's very stern.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's a dialogue choice when like she talks to you because about like you like a Yuna, the girl next to him right here. Yeah. But you could choose to say, "Hey, I like you," and I said, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, what is
caught off guard?"
Yeah, but nothing really happens from that. I say, "Oh, darn it!" Yeah. It got my hopes up. All right, so what else we got here? We got that's it. That's it for 2002. So now we're going back. I got 2 covers for 30 years ago, 1992. Man,
yeah,
I was still in 1st grade, still wearing underoos. All right, so here we go. I started wearing underoos until my 20s.
There you go.
All right, so what
it's
we got
solid
here?
Brand, Dominic.
Yeah, it is. We got Game Pro. We got Hook. Hook the game is on the front here. And if you go to because I got this from the site where you can actually look through the magazine and everything. So I forgot. So Sandra Bullock played Tinkerbell. I forgot she did. That was her.
Oh, I forgot that too. Yeah.
God damn it. Because that's just showing people all the actors in there. And I was like, oh my God, that was Sandra Bullock. Oh my goodness.
It's the only redeeming thing about that movie, though.
What are you talking about? As a kid, I love that movie. I haven't watched it. I never watched this movie as an adult. Like I haven't watched this movie since probably maybe 10. I don't know if I even watched it like at 12 or something. So I have no idea if this movie is really just bad. I'm just gonna not watch it and leave it to
I'm just a contrarian, Dominic. My wife loves it, and so does a lot of people in her family.
Oh, okay.
So I'm just like, oh, it's terrible.
All right, lights, camera, video, action, Hook. Rip into action on your NES. And you know what? Like these days, you're not going to see no cover have like a movie, like a movie game like this on the cover.
No.
See, this is the time when people would people were just into like anything that's like out there big. It's something in theaters.
It's legitimizing video games, Dominic. We got a AAA movie starring Robin Williams on this thing.
And who played the Hook?
I don't know. I was just trying to think.
He's a famous guy too. It was Daniel Day-Lewis. Sorry, I was joking. I just made that up.
Oh, it's Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, okay. Dustin Hoffman. Oh, yeah, Dustin Hoffman. He's bad now, right? He's one of the Me Too guys.
Is he? I don't know.
I thought I saw something. I mean, actually, I don't know if anything came out of it. I don't know if it was just an accusation.
Okay.
I don't want to give him a bad name, but
I don't remember anything like that. But
I remember.
Many that wouldn't surprise me.
Wait a minute.
Maybe he had a bad take. 5 Dustin Hoffman accusers telling harrowing stories.
Oh, okay. See, yeah,
from 2017.
For 2017. Oh man, man, this guy can't be like that, man. He was Rain Man.
Yep. That's going to be his excuse, Dominic. I was in the role. I was just grabbing around. I don't know.
Oh, look at this. Neo Geo. Previews of 11 new monster titles. Oh, yeah. I can't wait for the Neo Geo, Daniel.
Yeah.
It's going to be a game changer. 56 new carts reviewed. Look, they actually call them carts.
That's what they had back then.
Yeah. Look, Bucky O'Hare.
Mm-hmm.
Monster in my pocket. Oh, this is before Pokemon.
Yep.
We didn't know what pocket monsters were. I have no idea what Monsters in My Pocket is.
It sounds familiar, but I don't recall it off the top of my head.
Flintstones. They should sue Pokemon. Maybe they did. Maybe they did get some. Like it was just yeah. Flintstones.
Oh, they're those little creatures that you could get in like a turnkey machine, like a gumball machine.
Oh, okay.
They were like a solid color kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, see, they could have did it, Daniel. They could have been the first. They could have turned it to something like Pokemon.
Yeah.
And they could have been in on it. They lost it. I know that guy's just shooting himself in the face. Lemmings, the Flash, like the superhero.
Like the
Flash. Golden Axe 2, Road Rash. Oh, Road Rash. Crack Shot. I guess you're shooting ducks in this, or the duck is shooting. I don't know which one it is. Sim City, Buck Rogers. Oh, Buck Rogers.
There you go.
Treasure Master, Adventure Island for Game Boy, and much more. Oh, watch the GamePro TV show. There's a GamePro TV show? What channel that came on?
Came on public access television.
Now we got one from Game Informer from 30 years ago. We got Lemmings on the front.
Ridiculous.
And yeah, I played the hell out of Lemmings on PC.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was always playing that game. I used to love watching little bastards die.
They need to make a remake of Lemmings.
I know. I don't know.
But they need to not die. We need to find
like a perfect phone game. I'm like, why is that not a phone game? I mean,
you say that, but like now there's probably like a brand new Apple Arcade one that came out or something.
Oh yeah,
that's trash.
I mean, I'm sure there's an old Lemmings on there, but I'm just saying like a new version or something. The whole bunch of ads is coming up saying they get shit. What's new? The 1992 Consumer Electronics Show, and introducing Game Informer's Tech Talk, and new game reviews: Faceball, Shatterhand, and RPM Racing. That
was the year technology was introduced, Dominic.
Yeah, Faceball. They look like Pac-Man. That's what it looks like you're just shooting Pac-Man.
Is that what that Game Boy game is on the cover, or is that actual Pac-Man?
No, that's Faceball.
God. I just thought that was Pac-Man.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And what is this? Icy scenes from Sega's Winter Challenge. Oh, look at that. You're skiing.
Icy.
Go ahead and make their day with Faceball. You gotta make their day, Daniel.
I will.
All right, so that is it for the flashback segment. So we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we're gonna get to we don't have no gaming news, but we're gonna do year in review. We're gonna look at the news over the year of 2021.
Oh yeah.
All right. And we're back. And now we're doing a year in review. We're going to talk about the biggest news stories that happened in 2021 for us. Yeah. And we're going to go in order from January to December. Starting January. So what we got, Dad?
All right, Dominic. In January, it was the return of LucasArts. Only a couple of days into the year, we found out that Ubisoft was working on a Star Wars game. Now we know, of course, that Quantum Dream is also working on a Star Wars game. And we also found out that Bethesda and Machine Games, the creators of the latest Wolfenstein games, was working on a Indiana Jones game. So that was pretty big news to kick off that year last year.
It was very exciting news because, like, yes, it's not just tied to EA who's not doing shit with this goddamn license.
Despite the fact that they made Jedi Fallen Order, which was seemingly pretty good.
Yeah.
But that was the first thing in like the 20-year agreement that they had that actually manifested.
Rogue Squadron was people did like. I mean, it was a smaller game, but people did enjoy that too. It's called Rogue Squadron, right? What's it called?
Star Wars Squadrons.
Star Wars Squadrons. Okay.
They dropped the Rogue. You were on board with the corporate squadrons now, Dominic.
Yeah, I mean, people enjoyed that. And I mean, Battlefront, I mean, it looked great. But it's just that Battlefront 2 had its problems. Yeah. I mean, there's issues. It wasn't so much gameplay. It was like everything around it. And it's like you don't have any other games. Like you had people, studios were making games, but then they got canceled. And it's like, man, you got Star Wars license. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you should be there should be something every year coming out from from EA with Star Wars or something. Somebody should be having something coming out.
Yep.
But now we got Lucasfilms going back to just going to anybody, basically, like in the old days, which was great because look, yeah, you might get some shitty games, but you're gonna get some gems because everybody's has his hand into the license.
Exactly. You're just going to get more options. And it's crazy to think that during the time that like the resurgence happened with new Star Wars films in the theaters, we did not just get like a dearth of Star Wars games. So, yeah.
You didn't get nothing.
That was definitely positive change.
Yeah, and like the only thing, Lego Star Wars, that's like the only game that actually had like the characters from the new film.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
I mean, except for
unless
there's a phone game that I'm not mentioning, but whatever. Don't care about that.
Exactly. All right, Dominic. We also had some bad news. Vicarious Visions got swallowed up by Blizzard, and that was the beginning of the end for them, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about them later down the line. We also had Microsoft attempting to raise the price of Xbox Live Gold by $10 a month, and
that's right.
That quickly got out of hand for them, and they kind of reversed course on that because people were not happy.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that it was right at the beginning of the year, but also it does feel like it was so long ago, so that kind of wasn't surprising at the same time. There was a lot of news that it was like, there was a lot of news last year where it was like, this buyout was completed and this buyout was completed, but it was all stuff that we had actually found out about the year before, like Codemasters and Bethesda and stuff that. So yeah, I'm glad that Microsoft realized that was a bad idea. I mean, I think, like we talked about when that happened, I think they were really just attempting to like make Xbox Live look less appealing by raising the price and getting people to just sign on to.
They still are doing
Pass.
That by giving you these crappy free games. It's like I'll stop. I don't call them crappy, but these free games, that's not really eye popping.
Yeah, it's like we talked about. I think the level of quality has definitely decreased since the inclusion of Game Pass, and I understand like you kind of don't want to double dip and give people free games that are a part of Game Pass for numerous reasons, I would imagine, and that lowers the pool of things that you can give away free. But there's definitely kind of a gap now between what we see out of them and what we see quality-wise out of a PlayStation Plus game.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. All right, Dominic, moving on to February, we had Google shutting down their internal development for Google Stadia, all their first party that they kind of built up and brought in like Jade Raymond and stuff. They shuttered that, which this was only months after they had just launched it the previous year, I think, or was it in 2019? I can't remember.
I want to say 2019.
Either way, it hasn't been relevant ever outside of you playing Cyberpunk on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's understandable, but it's disappointing that once again, Google shows that they aren't really committed to anything at all and will chop the head off of it as soon as they get the feeling that they need to.
I just wish they could have a subscription model. I would try it. Technically they do. It's some free games on that pro model, but like those newer games, I don't want to buy no game for $70 or $60.
That I'm going to lose access to as soon as I stop paying that subscription.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. 100%. Because you could do the same thing with GeForce Now, depending on the game, since they've, got kind of a limitation on their services now. But at the same time, that's in place on Stadia. You're not getting every single new game. So it's much more appealing for me to buy a Steam version of a game that I'll have somewhere down the line if I ever were to upgrade my PC versus something that I'm just going to lose access to completely. So, all right. Also in February, CD Projekt Red got hacked after kind of a rough winter for them with the launch of Cyberpunk. They got hacked. Their source code for, I think, The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk, amongst other things, was hacked and seemingly sold on the dark web. So I don't think we've really seen much additional fallout from that yet. Maybe it's just not the circles I'm trafficking in, but it seems like that hasn't had disastrous effects on them as of yet.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything, but like you said, I don't know what's going on the dark web. It's scary over there. I kind of stay away from her.
I like turn my lights on. I'd be interested to see, like, the thing about them is they already released their games without any DRM. So like piracy probably isn't that hard for people that want to pirate those games. But I'd be interested to see, like, if they did have DRM, if, people having their source code would have kind of busted that open and made that a lot easier. But I guess it's not something really we have to worry about. So
yeah.
All right. In March, Dominic, Epic acquired Mediatonic. Those are the Fall Guys people. So, coming off a big year, the year previous when that game came out, everybody was loving it. Absolutely understandable why Epic would be quick to gobble them up the same way they did eventually with the Rocket League developers, Psyonix, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Jumping on that trend, get some Fall Guys. Are there not Fall Guys skins in Fortnite yet? How is that not a thing?
Fallout skin. I don't know, because I feel like they're the same. They're the games that do skins.
Yeah, that's true. That's you put Fortnite guys in Fall Guys, and you put Fall Guys in Fortnite. I need to shoot those little jelly bean people, Dominic.
God, they look so weird. They'll be like giant Luigi's, I guess. Like, I mean, elongated Mario. I mean,
yeah. Yes, that's
I still
exactly
want that. I still want the elongated Mario, man, to be in Fallout. Slender Man Mario or something like that.
Oh, yeah. All right. Also in March, we had Tiger Woods returning to the video game space, partnering with 2K. And 2K,
knock that cameraman out.
Uh-oh.
The cameraman is out and the player. Jesus Christ. On the Redskins game.
Oh, wow.
Or the Washington team game. I'm sorry. Oh, look. They got the camera view, too, of him coming to knock him out.
Oh, man. Let's get this man's feed. Let's also check he's alive, but first, let's get his feed. Good Lord.
They are both still on the ground.
Oh, no. It's a good thing they got his camera footage, at least.
Yeah, yeah, yep, exactly. It's so horrible. So, yo, look at this.
Man's going to be going off the field on the truck with a neck brace on, and they're like, oh, we got his footage at least.
Yeah. I'm saying, hey, you can look at his footage in VR so you can be like you were there.
Oh, my God.
That's
just rough. Yikes. All right, Dominic, where was I here? Tiger Woods. So 2K also acquired HB Studios, the team behind the golf club.
This is post accident, right?
You know what? I don't know. I feel like it was, but I don't remember when that happened, to be honest with you.
The accident did happen 2021, right?
Yes. So that happened February 23rd.
Okay.
So yeah, this would have been post that. So bringing him back to the digital world because he can't golf in real life.
He was in this father-son golf tournament. I think they came in second.
Okay.
He held his son back.
Was holding him back.
No. He held his son back because of his car engine. Someone probably pissed. Like, look at you. You could have took first place. You had to drive like 80 miles per hour or something going around a curve.
Just because you were trying to get away from mom. God damn it. All right. After that, Dominic, Sony acquired Evo. So they were in a partnership with some other company that I'm not familiar with. But they purchased Evo. So now.
So no more Killer Instinct at Evo?
Exactly. Yep. Nobody's playing that anyway, Dominic. But yeah, so that's interesting. I don't know that we've really seen much
Smash Brothers
in the way of change for
Is
that.
Smash Brothers at Evo?
I feel like if they're smart, they have to, as long as, I guess it's up to Nintendo whether they're willing to make that deal, right? Because you could technically have it at Evo, but like they wouldn't be able to stream it or at least monetize the stream or something like that. Otherwise, they would get sued. I don't know. Business is complicated down there.
Yeah, just do the new DC one or the Nickelodeon game.
There you go. Yes, the multiverse. All right, Dominic. In May, we had the Epic versus Apple trials start. And of course, as we talked about at the time, it doesn't seem like anything really has come of that. Of course, like injunctions were filed and like.
He was hoping to be the OJ trial, but it wasn't.
Yes. You had not Steve Jobs, Tim Apple driving down the highway trying to get away from Epic. Away from Tim Sweeney. Yeah, it seems like nothing has really come from that yet because everything's still just locked up in litigation. And, the original idea was that Apple was going to make it so third parties were going to have to be able to pay through their own things. But because they filed an injunction, now they don't have to until an actual decision has been made. And it's just like stupid legal bullshit. So it seems like nothing good has come of that as of yet, at least. After that, we got EA acquiring Metalhead. They are the guys behind Super Mega Baseball. So that's a pretty fun game. And it'll be interesting to see what EA does with them. It would be fun to see that game, I guess, in some variation with official MLB rosters, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to see that.
Nice revisiting of like a backyard baseball style franchise. Get Kid Ken Griffey back in there. All right. Next up, Dominic, in June, we had the E3 online events and Jeff Keighley's Game Fest. Is there anything that you remember that sticks out to you as far as what was announced at Game Fest? Because honestly, for me, there really isn't anything that like really sticks out.
What is it called? Memory. The Death Stranding
Game of the Year edition.
Well, that's what it's called, or was it director's cut?
I don't think it was Game of the Year edition. Yeah, director's cut. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah, that's the one. Him in the box crawling around like he was Snake.
Was the Saints Row showed at this or what?
Was that at that or was that at the Game Awards?
The Game Awards.
Let's see.
Oh, you mean from the previous year?
Yeah, from the previous year. Let's see. We only got stuff. Everything announced by Jeff Keighley. Elden Ring stuff. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I think that was one of the big ones.
Okay,
Metal Gear Tactics, that looked pretty good. Jurassic World, Sable.
I'm sorry, I'm sucking on my drink here. That's why I can't.
Let's see. Escape from Tarkov, Left 4 Dead, Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt, Tales of Arise, a reveal trailer, Fast and the Furious coming. Man, like looking back on this, it's like there really wasn't like anything big that came from this.
No, it really wasn't.
Back 4 Blood gameplay. Yeah, that's no wonder we were like, and I didn't remember anything from this stuff. Yeah. So that's what they had there. We shall see what they do with E3 this year, whether we actually have a in-person one. I feel like we will by June of this year. I feel like we will either have gotten to a place where it is relatively safe to travel, or people just won't care anymore because you're kind of already at that point right now. I feel like
I think at that point everybody has the COVID in them.
Yes,
it's going to be just that's what it's going to be.
I mean, that's the problem though, right? Like that's what I was joking with a guy at work is like, we should all just get in a room together and just get all the COVID at the same time. But it's not chicken pox. You can get it again, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can get it again.
And that's the
problem.
So just not good. Well, what we need to do is just all keep getting it until like our bodies have just grown accustomed to it and it can't do anything to us anymore. So like now it's at like cold status, whereas like if we just kept getting it, it would just, my eye twitches for like 2 seconds and then I'm good. But I tested positive for COVID. I'm not a scientist, Dominic. Don't listen to any of this. Go get vaccinated.
Yeah, this is the Joe Rogan. He's the guy.
Exactly. You're going to have Aaron Rodgers come on next. All right, Dominic. In July, we had Sony acquiring Nixies and Housemark. So Nixies is kind of a port house. They do stuff like they're putting Uncharted on the PC. And Housemark, of course, made Returnal, which was kind of a big hit last year. So I'm really seeing people come around on Returnal in a way that I feel like it was not getting when it first came out. Like I'm seeing that game show up on Game of the Year lists. Like more so than...
Because this is not the first year you don't see a lot of Sony games.
Yeah. But I mean, like even higher than Ratchet and Clank. Like honestly, I feel like the talk between
Ratchet
those two games...
is getting the respect I thought it would happen. Which is like not a lot because that seemed like that's always fucking happened. It's more of the same. Even though it's like in a good game. Like it's like it's a great game and it looks great, but it really gets no respect like that,
Yeah. Yeah. It seems like people are settling in on like, this is great, but also it's kind of more of the same, but prettier. And yeah, we're going in a different direction on that.
But no, Returnal probably is a good game. Unfortunately, I have nowhere to play it.
Yeah. It was definitely one of those where like I was definitely mentally having that conversation of like, is this a $70 game? I don't know if I would pay $70 for this game, especially because it's like this roguelike thing. It's short, sort of maybe, but also like it seems really cool and is more like Metroid-y than people had originally discussed. And yeah, there was a lot of like in my head, like if I got my hands on a PS5, would I pay $70 for that game? I don't know.
Oh yeah. But with that game, damn, I had it on the tip of my tongue because I'm watching football at the same time, so now I lost it. It was something about Returnal. Like, I mean, it like graphically it looked good, but I was like, why couldn't this be on a PS4?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. The environments in that game also felt a little blank, I think is what makes me feel like it was.
From the videos I've seen, and there's probably some that's better. I mean, if they are, I don't know. But the ones that say,
like maybe you get deeper into the game, more elaborate stuff.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking, like, why can this be on PS4? And I'm thinking this is one of those games that, like I said, if COVID didn't happen or there was no chip shortage, a combination of the two, I feel like Horizon and God of War and Turismo, they would be exclusive to PS5. And that just tells me, like, y'all was just, it didn't have to be, though. It's like, wait a minute, so you tell me these things can run on a PS4, y'all was just going to probably just make it exclusive.
Yeah.
And I feel like Returnal was probably in that boat. Was that, yeah, it could play on PS4, but we're going to make it like, hey, this is the next-gen game. Even though technically it's not. It's only next-gen game because it's just can be played up here, like, physically. Not that it's just not, it can't possibly play on the last gen. And I don't like that. I don't like that because it just pisses me off.
I think we're going to get to a point where even some of these higher tier games that you would expect them to put the work in to make run well are going to maybe underperform on some of that older hardware to a point where... Sorry, I wanted to wait for that.
I heard
extremely loud. That was me farting. But I think some of these games are going to underperform in a way that people are not going to be satisfied with, almost on the level of like a Cyberpunk. And then you'll start to see like, maybe they are next gen, or maybe they just didn't put in the work to actually make it run well.
Yeah, run well. Yeah, exactly.
Which I think people are probably going to lean more in the direction of. But, yeah, we will get to the point where they're going to phase out development for those systems once they can actually put new systems in people's hands. All right, Dominic, speaking of new systems, also in July, after E3, which we thought, like, okay, they didn't announce it at E3, so I guess we're not getting a Switch Pro. And we didn't. We instead got a Switch OLED, which just replaced the screen and upgraded the dock with a Ethernet port and a few other minor changes. A lot of disappointment around this, I think. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, especially
you're respecting something like new, something powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we talked about it at the time, but for me, it would have been something that I was kind of interested in picking up if they had actually done a substantial upgrade there, because there are games that I saw that didn't perform in the way that I would have necessarily wanted them to. And with something like Zelda, which I had my issues with, you know, both Breath of the Wild and more so Link's Awakening, sadly, I would have absolutely upgraded to play that game in more of a way that I would wanted to. And also Breath of the Wild 2, knowing that that's coming out running on a same or the similar engine to Breath of the Wild 1, and knowing the issues that we already saw with that game, I think I would have upgraded in hopes that Breath of the Wild 2 would have performed in a way that I would have been happier with. And, you know, here we are with Bloomberg coming out even after this announcement saying, oh yeah, there were developers that had actual Switch Pro with upgraded hardware dev kits and stuff like that. And Nintendo, of course, coming out and refuting that. But I can't help but wonder if this is just like a stopgap thing because of the chip shortages. They're like, we can get screens for days, but we can't get new chips right now. Maybe next year when we can get more chips, or whenever it may be, if it's before when we decided we were going to actually do Switch 2 or what have you, if they're going to actually still go down that route.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yep. Meanwhile, Steam had other ideas, and they were like, yo, you want a powerful handheld? We got you, boys, because here's the Steam Deck.
Oh, shit. I forgot about this damn thing.
I think in the wiki list that I initially looked at, it wasn't on there as far as like big announcements for 2021. And then I was going through our old notes, and I'm like, how the fuck did we how did I not have Steam Deck on this already? So yeah, I mean that's big. And originally we were supposed to be looking at those things having launched by now and being available to at least a number of people during the holiday season, and that obviously got pushed back. But I'm still looking forward to seeing what reviews are on that thing. It's not something that I'm necessarily going to pick up at launch. I mean, at this point, I can't. I think if I ordered it today, it would be like sometime in 2023 before I was able to get it or something, allegedly. But it's something that I'm very much like, I want to see how that performs. If that can actually do a lot of what I would like it to do, especially in terms of making like Game Pass games portable, that could be a game changer.
Yes.
In a lot of ways.
Really.
So, and I'd be interested to see if that does become a thing, if Microsoft becomes a little more inclined to maybe do a handheld situation of their own. If they're like, oh, hey, people are interested in playing our Game Pass stuff on this Steam Deck, maybe we should do a thing ourselves. So we shall see, Dominic. Last thing I have here in July, one of the biggest articles or one of the biggest news stories of the year. The California Department of Fair Employment and Housing files a lawsuit against Activision Blizzard, alleging many types of discrimination and sexual and other types of harassment. This was really the beginning of the unraveling for Blizzard and Activision as a larger company. You know, now we're at a point where Bobby Kotick is, possibly directly involved with some of these allegations and hasn't been ousted yet, but would not necessarily be surprised if he were to be by the end of this year. If there's,
I would be surprised because I thought him as a good man. Like this,
yeah.
This,
I mean,
he doesn't deserve this, Daniel.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve this. Star of Moneyball, Bobby Kotick does not deserve this. Yes, it's unfair treatment. Someone who did deserve that treatment apparently was J. Allen Brack, as he stepped down from Blizzard, probably at the behest of a Mr. Bobby Kotick. He was probably like, you're going to take the knife on this one. Just fall on this sword. Get the fuck out of my face. And here's $20 million to keep your mouth shut. Probably. Allegedly. Sprinkle. All right. After that, Dominic, one of the other big stories of the year, Martin Luther King in Fortnite. We talked about it a little bit at that time. A weird decision, but also like part of me has come around on it a little more. Like, as long as it's not in the part where you can just shoot your gun, like bringing the education to where the kids are nowadays, and the kids are in Fortnite. It's hard for me to entirely hate the idea, but also just like the weird juxtaposition of Martin Luther King in a game where your shooty bang bang is just, it's not right.
I never talked to people in Fortnite, but I'm just going to assume that the dialogue is not that great. And I mean, like between people, like they are using a lot of racial slurs, so their language.
You know what? I don't know. I mean, there's an extent where I just assume that's the case in most online games, which is really sad that I have to. But at the same time, I don't hear a lot of people talk about it in like it being a toxic community in the way that I do like of a Dota or, something like that. But it might also just be me not listening to a lot of people talking about Fortnite. But I do
want to
listen
know how many people are in public. Who's listening in public rooms? Like, they're just just talking at all, or they're just talking to their friends.
Yeah, on Discord and whatnot. That's probably what it actually is more of. Because like I was gonna say, I listen to Cheap Ass Gamer, and Wombat is like super into Fortnite now. Like, spends hundreds of hours playing that game, and he doesn't really talk about a toxic community, but I think you're onto something there as far as like the use of Discord is probably so prevalent now that everybody just kind of makes their own communities in whatever game it is, instead of actually, having to deal with the rancid public that may still exist in these games.
Yeah, because I think it's normal for people just not to talk. Because actually, I found it weird when I was playing Halo. I heard somebody say something. I was like, "What the fuck?" I say, "Shut up!" And I was like, I was like, I mean, which is funny because it's like, wait a minute, he's doing what he's supposed to do, but it's just that nobody. I was like, I didn't hear nobody talk before. I was like, I haven't heard people talk up here in years. Like everybody's either in the party chat or something. Or I usually have it muted, but since I didn't have it muted for the new Halo Infinite, I heard somebody talk was weird. I was like, what? Why is this dude talking? Yeah, because, hey, man, it just made it so bad. Like, people have made it so bad in the past that I just don't even bother being in those rooms anymore. And now, since I'm older, I always feel weird talking to people in these multiplayer spaces. I was like, they're just kids. I mean, I know you're just supposed to just keep it simple, but they be talking about things. I'm like, I don't really want to talk about anything besides this game because you're like,
this can go downhill quick.
Yeah, this ain't. Yeah, I mean, like y'all probably very young. That's kind of weird. It's like, hey,
how he wished his dad had voted for Donald Trump more.
All right, so what else we got, man?
All right, Dominic, speaking of voting for Donald Trump, in September, we kicked it off with the CEO of Tripwire Games, John Gibson, getting himself in trouble. That is the developer behind Maneater and some other like port work and stuff like that.
It was with QAnon or something?
Stuff like, what's that?
Is with QAnon or something like that?
This was the one where now I'm like completely forgetting what happened.
I was just joking. I don't think he was.
No, it was the anti-abortion stuff. That's what it was with him. It was him basically saying on Twitter, "I'm glad someone's finally willing to stand up to these leftist bullies,
to these baby killers."
Yes, exactly. These baby murderers. As a Christian man, I am glad.
The Vietnam War.
Yeah, so that did not go well for him. It's a tiger eat your face moment there. After that, in September, you had Netflix getting into the video game space by acquiring Night School Studios, the people behind Oxenfree. With Oxenfree 2 coming up, they're still allegedly releasing that on consoles, but it does seem like Netflix is actually trying to get into the video game space and making some sort of video game subscription model, which I would be interested to see them do, because that is competition for a Microsoft.
And real video games, not the shit they did with those interactive games, which were remote.
Not Minecraft story mode.
Yeah. Well, before Minecraft, it was something else.
They also did the Bandersnatch, what is that show?
They did Black Mirror too, right?
Yes, Black Mirror. Yeah, that's the one. Black Mirror Bandersnatch. Yeah. So we shall see what comes of that. It feels like there hasn't really been much so far, but I'm sure if they're picking up studios, they're going to do something, just like Google. Just steam on through, I guess. Mm-hmm. All right, Dominic. After that, we had Sony acquiring Blue Point Games. They are the ones that did the remake of Demon Souls for the PS5. They also did some of the remaster collections for like Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. So they picked those guys up. Moving into October, we got Sora being announced as the final playable character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yep.
It's part of their last fighter pack.
As people who will say, is like, that's not a sword. It's a key.
It's a keyblade.
Yeah, keyblade, but it's not a sword.
Is a blade technically a sword?
I mean, I'll say yes.
All
I don't care what
swords are blades, but all blades aren't swords kind of thing?
I don't know. They all fucking cut something. It may not cut through, but it'll bash it. You can bash it.
It'll sever it.
Put a cut. It's shit.
Oh, just blunt, non-sharp swords. Oh. All right, Dominic. Nintendo also announced their expansion pack for their online, which added Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64 games to their online catalog, for $50 a year. See a lot of pushback on this, mostly because they're just not giving like a huge library of games to warrant the additional cost.
I think from like 2 years from now, people will say, hey, man, it's worth it.
Yeah. But not until they add some more stuff. And it's only been, it has been one game a month, which is seems like it's more than what they were doing for the Super Nintendo stuff, but also doesn't seem like we're going to get to
it should have been a bigger library. Like one game a month is good if you had a bigger library from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. All right. We also had another hack, Dominic. This time Twitch got its source code released, as well as the income for lots of the, I think it was like top 100 streamers or something like that.
Yeah.
Top 1,000. So obviously we were included in that list. Please don't dox us.
Yeah, that was a big deal on the internet. Like Twitter, I saw people really talking about, but I just didn't give a fuck. So I did not even get into that space. I saw some people just arguing about like how much they made or how much somebody made, like saying like, hey, it's not that much if you put in blah blah. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, hourly rate and stuff like that. Because there are people that are literally streaming on Twitch, like 12 plus hours a day,
and
7 days a week.
It's their job.
Yeah,
like they're not going to work 8 hours and then coming back
streaming for 2 and making $20 million a year. Yeah, that's not happening. So, yeah. So good on those people for finding a career on Twitch.
Oh, they're gonna say good on those people for get the source code.
Also that, but only if something good comes of it, like better moderation tools or something like that. All right, Dominic, and here is the news continuing from the beginning of the year. Vicarious Visions, they lost their name because they were fully merged into Blizzard and became basically a port studio.
See, we want people to forget Tony Hawk forever.
Yep. Yeah, so that's unfortunate, especially after having released that really good Tony Hawk 1 and 2,
I don't
remake.
But like Activision, what? I guess the goal is just to make money without putting too much work into making that money.
Trying to min-max it. Minimal effort, maximum money.
Yeah. Because it's like, darn, okay, you did this Tony Hawk game. People liked it. I don't know how much it sold. I'm just going to assume it sold okay. Yeah. But I have no idea. But, like, you didn't want to expand on that. It's like, oh, that's it. It's like, that's it. We're done. Let's go back Let's go back to making just Call of Duty and Blizzard games.
Although I would be excited to see Blizzard presents Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. Put the Blizzard name on there.
Yeah.
Too bad they're working on Overwatch 2 or whatever. They have to come up with like a different name for McCree again.
That Diablo, 4?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah. They do have a lot of games in development over there, but, well, 2 major ones in development over
sequel.
there. But,
it's nothing. It's nothing new. I'm not blaming Blizzard. They can do what they want. Whatever. They're just going to cash in on those names. But it's not really cash. They still put work into that shit. It's like Activision. Like they bought it. Oh, they did Crash. I don't know. I don't know if they're doing Spiral. I guess they're not going to do a new Spiral game. Maybe I don't know. I heard no talks about that. But is anything else going to come from that studio besides Call of Duty? Anything would be a surprise because I don't hear nothing talked about with Activision.
Yeah.
They didn't even pick up nothing for Star Wars. I'm surprised they didn't try to get into that. Well, say like do something for Star Wars. Just do the next Call of Duty is Star Wars or something like that. I'm surprised they didn't do that.
Call of Duty Rogue Ops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame what Activision is, even outside of the obvious things that we talked about earlier, but just from a business standpoint, it's sad that we're not getting anything new out of them. And we're really not even getting that much out of them, period. We're, like you said, Call of Duty and Blizzard stuff when that comes around. So it's rough. All right, Dominic, moving into November, we have the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Trilogy coming out and being hot garbage, basically, being pulled from sale on the PC for a while from the Rockstar launcher because it had source code in there that contained some of the music that was no longer in the definitive edition. And even as far as like including parts of the hot coffee mod that still remained in that game.
It's just, the hot coffee mod thing, I'm just like, why can't I just put that in the fucking game? Just put it in. At
this point, we've seen much worse in those games.
Oh my God, yeah. So, and also, it's just, it just shows you that, man, they didn't put really not a lot of work in this definitive edition. Like, come on, all the money they got, they could have made, like, I like saying you gotta make it look like Grand Theft Auto 5. I mean, they can still look the way it looks now. Fine. I mean, I know you don't particularly like it that much, how it looks, but just make it good. Like just put some work into it. Like, what are you doing? Like, you got tons of fucking money over there in Rockstar. And, well, Take-Two. I mean, the whole fucking, like, the companies. Why does this seem like God just put so little work into this? Like, you literally just freaking, just up-resed it a bit and just ported it.
Yeah.
Like, are they doing anything else with this? Are they still fixing it? Or is it just done?
I haven't heard anything outside of what they had already done, which is basically like fix the rain, which was actually terrible because it was like not see-through, so you couldn't play the game very well when it was actually raining in the game. But some of the other bugs, they basically said, hey, these were in the original game, so they carried over. And then just like the general look of it, I think they've gotten it to the point where they wanted it. Because there was that meme going around where the nut or whatever that was on the top of one of the buildings was turned into a donut, basically, because they put smoothing on everything. But outside of them giving you the option to get the old version, which I think sounds like basically their Band-Aid option, is like, here you go, you don't have to complain anymore. We're just giving you the old version back. So, like, leave us alone or something. Which is, it's really sad for games that were so defining of their time, and you just, to celebrate their anniversary, you just put out this trash.
Like, oh, you know what? If you're going to do a remake, like, just go all in. Like, you could have just been working on this for some years and make it, maybe not like Grand Theft Auto 4 graphics, but something in between that and PlayStation. Just like, hey, we reworked this or something a bit. Or did a lot of touches. If, like I said, if you just did it like the graphics look now, but you did a lot of touches in there to make it just look better, and to feel better, like just to be a good overall game again.
Yeah,
like you got. I
mean, you got considering what we've seen like out of mods and whatnot for that. I feel like they could have made it to at least like Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5 levels of quality without, I don't want to say without much effort, but without like the amount of effort that they maybe would imply it would take to get to that level.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if the mods can, the mods can make it look that good, then you got fucking people and money behind you.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Or at least one of those games. Like, at least they could at least did like, okay, you didn't want to do all 3 games to be like at least Grand Theft Auto 4 level of quality. At least do like one. Do a remake of one.
Like they did with Mafia.
Yeah.
Whereas like, hey, we're remaking this and then we're going to put out remasters of these other 2, basically. Yeah. All right, Dominic. Next up, Epic acquired Harmonix at the end of November. So, yeah. They're going to continue working on Rock Band stuff. Probably won't see any new Rock Band games anytime soon. But
Do the oboe.
Oh, an oboe. There you go. But it's only going to be playable in Fortnite. That's the downside. Yeah. So it's interesting. Again, I'll reiterate what I said then is I'm glad to see Harmonix with an influx of cash, basically, because that studio has always been one that I would not be surprised if it ended up dead, because it was always between publishers and between, money houses, basically. And hopefully they are at some point given kind of free reign to do what they want creatively with the budget of an Epic Games, and not just, hey, we want you to work on the next Ariana Grande concert in Fortnite or something like that. Obviously that just happened, so it's yet to be determined what they're going to be doing completely, but here's the hoping, that's all I can say with that.
The next Epic event should be like the Super Bowl's halftime show is in Fortnite.
That would be pretty wild, to be honest with you. I mean, they did have the partnership with the NFL to put like the jerseys in there for a while, and then that all kind of fell apart, I think, around like people with gun charges.
And then if you watch on TV, you see a bunch of like characters, Fortnite characters is jumping around on a like
holding signs
on the
that say
field.
"Watch Fortnite."
Yeah, you see Spider-Man just swinging around, a bunch of Spider-Man swinging around. Well, just Fortnite people, because you say that this is a mechanic now. Everybody just swinging around and shit.
Yep. I don't hate that idea, Dominic. I honestly I could see them doing something really cool with a Super Bowl themed / halftime music performance thing in Fortnite.
This one is like all old rappers, I believe.
Oh, really?
I think it's Dr. Dre.
Okay.
And others. I want to say Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg's always here to get a check.
Yeah, he's just Okay, it's Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem. No. Wait a minute. Let me see. Super Bowl. Maybe yeah. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Mary J. Blige, and Kendrick Lamar.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
Jay-Z
it's like it's people I know. So now, and it's those oldies. I mean,
Exactly.
except for Kendrick Lamar. But
even Kendrick at this point, I feel like is like the kids aren't listening to him anymore.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know what
like people listening to Kendrick Lamar would be referred to as old heads nowadays.
Or young millennials.
Yeah. So, all right, Dominic. Moving into December, we got Tencent acquiring Turtle Rock Studios, who had recently released Left 4 Dead. And obviously also they were the ones that made Evolve and came from the people who made... No, not Left 4 Dead. What's the game called? Back 4 Blood, Dominic. There it is. Back 4 Blood. But they originated from people that worked on Left 4 Dead. So again, another studio that I'm glad to see, get a little bit of support, as long as Tencent isn't, pushing them in a direction creatively that they don't want to. And
bowing down to our Chinese overlords.
I got to get my LeBron James or John Cena statements out there. I will say, like, to their credit, Tencent, I feel like, has been one of those companies that is putting money into games development, and you're also not necessarily seeing a lot of push in creativity in a certain direction. Now, maybe there are things that, these game developers wanted to say about China that they maybe aren't including anymore, but that's not as evident as something where it's just like Activision, for instance. Hey, we're going to bring in Vicarious Visions and give them all the money, but also they're just not going to exist anymore, and they're going to work on Call of Duty ports or something like that. So I am okay with that as of right now. We'll see how
that guy is open.
How that turns out. Did they ever get that camera guy up off the field?
Oh, well, I'm watching Red Zone, so I'm seeing multiple games.
Oh, it jumped around.
Yeah,
gotcha.
I have no idea what happened to him. I was going to assume he's dead. So we can just move on. It doesn't seem...
God damn it, Dominic.
I was joking.
I'm glad you have editorial processes on this podcast. You're going to need to cut that out when we find out that poor man actually died.
Oh, I hope he didn't. Yeah, I hope he didn't die. Let me see this.
Yes. We all here at the Superpod family, we hope that poor man is not dead. Oh my God. All right, Dominic. We also had in December Riot Games settling a workplace gender discrimination lawsuit that was ongoing with former employees for $100 million. That may sound like a lot, but it was a class action lawsuit. There were many people involved. So obviously that money is going to be divided by them, and they'll probably see like a couple dollars a piece for what they had to put up with.
Wow, so, somebody said, like they're showing, I'm looking at something on the cameraman. And someone said, thank God cameramen are so close and can't use their $1,000 cameras to zoom in. Like, he blaming him for being too close to. It's not that close, really. I mean, it's Good not. Lord. I don't know. I mean, it's I can't blame the camera for being right. That's where they always are, and it's not really that. He's not on the field. He's not even on the edge of where the out of bounds is. He's far. It's just the guy went over there. I mean, what the hell?
People are stupid. That's what you're telling me, Dominic.
Yeah.
All right. Next up in December, Dominic, we had Splinter Cell, the remake, announced that we just talked about the last time we podcasted, in fact, because, now we're here. And yeah, hopefully that turns out good. And then we had some bad Ubisoft news. They're getting in the NFT game, Dominic, as is all these people with their monkey avatars with quartz.
Oh, but the football player, he had to go to stretcher, man.
Oh, shit.
Wow. Well, not a stretch. Well, yeah, they got him on the, he suffered a neck injury. Oh, my God.
Oh, my man.
Yeah.
Did he hit the camera itself, or is that cameraman just sturdy?
I mean, I think he hit the camera. Yeah, he hit the camera because I told you in that camera video, he hit it. Okay. But he hit the wall too. Watching football team tight end Ricky Seals suffered a neck injury in a scary silent collision. I don't know what happened to the cameraman though.
My God.
Of course, I'm gonna ask, how's the camera? All right, so.
Well, we wish the best for all of them. NFTs, Dominic. They're driving people wild in 2021.
Oh, yes, they are.
And now into 2022.
They're the future, Daniel. They're the future. Oh, whatever. I mean, that's what to say. I mean, what the fuck? I just hope they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Is this a fad that we think they're going to get over, or is this something that's going to become ubiquitous?
I just hate people who just on it, like to try to get people on it. I was like, come on, man, dude, stop trying to find different ways to get out paying taxes, man. Shit, come on. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, it's I hope it is. I mean, because it's just I don't see the positives in it unless you're in on it and like you're at the top, like getting in on this shit.
What are you trying to say, Dominic? It's some kind of pyramid scheme?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Pretty much. So we shall see where game development goes. I'm sure E3 this year will be flush with NFT related games. So we'll see how this stuff works out. But until then, it's another year. We did it, Dominic. We made it through, and we're beginning another one. What do you think?
Man, that's the whole year? Damn.
Yep.
Man, any other news happen? Oh, I didn't mention about John Madden passing away.
No, you didn't. Did you see the other one that passed away? Yeah.
What other one?
Betty White.
Oh, okay.
I forgot about John Madden because of Betty White happening yesterday or day before. But yeah, I was a little surprised that you didn't start the podcast with that. And then when I was thinking to bring it up, I kept forgetting to bring it up. So, yeah, it's crazy. I mean, are we going to get like a John Madden Memorial Special Edition this year for Madden football?
Oh yeah. The next Madden football is definitely getting that, yo. I mean, they did Kobe thing like that, so what the fuck?
That's true. Yes, they did.
Oh yeah, he's definitely that thing gonna be what, like $120 or something like that.
It's gonna have a turducken included with
it. Yeah, or at least a coupon. The coupon for your turducken for Thanksgiving.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here wanting the Betty White NFL 2K edition or whatever.
Yeah, Betty White. Yep, the last one, 99 years old.
Yeah,
the last one of the Golden Girls.
It's crazy too, because when we went to see Spider-Man before that, they were advertising like one of those Fathom event style things that was like Betty White's 100th birthday party. It's got Ryan Reynolds and all these other stars talking about how great she is. And I'm like, are they still going to do that? Is that?
Oh, this was after she died? I thought it was before she died.
No, it was before she died. But
yeah, okay. Yeah, I was about to say.
But it's supposed to happen on her birthday, which is in like 2 weeks. It's like the 17th of January.
Well, Madden, what was it, Christmas Day? They had a Madden special.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
of course
a few days later, he died. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Did they know he was going to die? It was just like, did they know he was sick or something? This is all just coincidence that they just had this special?
How old was John Madden?
85.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah, I mean, Madden. Like, I know Madden from. Of course, probably the first time I ever seen him wasn't even a video game. It probably was announcing because I was watching football. So my dad and brother watch football, so I've seen him. And then when I saw the game, when my brother had the Sega Genesis game, I knew that was like, hey, that's John Madden, the announcer guy. I say, oh, he's on a game. So like it wasn't me. I wasn't in the point where like, oh, I knew the video game before the man, because I was already watching football. So I already kind of knew him, and my dad mentioned him because he was a Raiders fan, so he knew him as a coach. But yeah, I mean, the dude. I mean, like, he was basically NFL for me though. Like, I just knew him. Like, every time I watch a game, like, oh, this is the John Madden game. This must be the big game the end of the week. If John Madden's doing it with Pat Summerall. And Pat Summerall, he passed away years ago. Now, I don't know how many years ago it's been now. But yeah, I just remember them, Pat Summerall, him do it. I remember when Madden first went to Fox, that was a big deal. Because like, yeah, they got Madden. And I was like, oh, good, because I like Fox, because I like their music. I like their football music. That's all I care. It's like with the music. And then he went to Monday Night Football. That was huge. So he was always getting the big games of the week. And that was his. And then he went to NBC. It was his last stop. When NBC finally got football, they got Madden for how many? I don't know how many years it was NBC. That was his later years, though. But yeah, I love listening to Madden. Of course, the video game. I love when he was doing the announcing the game. It was great. After he stopped doing announcing, I didn't play Madden much though. That was when Madden went to 360, and that year they had some different announcer. Nobody liked them. Then they started getting other announcers. I haven't really played much of Madden during those years, so I can't compare to say who's bad. Now the latest ones I played was the last 3 years, and they need to change their dialogue because I'm hearing the same shit. It's the same guys and it's the same dialogue. And I'm like, dude, they need to fix this. Because y'all ain't really changing much except for the name, them saying the names. But yeah, so I can't really compare to the current Maddens to the time when he was there. Like, I don't play Madden as much. I used to play Madden a whole lot back in the from the late 90s to the early 2000s. I was playing Madden. Basically middle school through probably high school, I guess. Because I think, yeah, because when 360 came out, it was what, 2005? Right? 2005 or 6? 2005, the winter of 2005 is when 360 came out, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah. So then, yeah, I wasn't playing Madden as much, and I was still playing college football though. I played college football for a while because I like that better. But yeah, Matt. I mean, him being on a video game, seeing him. Oh, of course, those commercials, that foot commercial, whatever, like to athlete's foot, tough act. I forgot tough acting.
Tough acting to acting.
Yeah, tough acting to act. Yeah, always seeing that, and him doing the Thanksgiving games, having that turducken, and then him always, he's afraid of planes. He was getting on a bus everywhere, all over the damn country. He would drive to the next game. That was crazy to me. I was like, damn, man, long ride. But then I was like, oh, this was nice as buses though. So it's comfortable. I was
gonna say, if you're not driving, you're just getting there. You're basically living your life in the back there.
Yeah, exactly. Just going across the country, man. That's man. Yeah, I mean, he lived a full life. I mean, he's died at 85. It was like good for him. And I mean, it was accomplished before he was an announcer. I mean, even though he before announcing and being part of a video game, he was a great football coach.
Yeah.
And he was a player. I mean, I don't really know much about him, his playing days. That was a very long time ago. But yeah.
Leather helmet days.
Yeah, exactly. No face mask. Oh, is that a touchdown? Oh my God. He threw a Hail Mary up.
Oh, wow.
And the ball was popping over the place and he got it. I'm sorry, look at the Colts and the Raiders playing. All right. So I guess that's it. I guess do we have any new releases?
Nothing this week.
Nope. All right. So I guess.
Or these past 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's it for the podcast. So I guess we can close it up.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for sticking with us for another year. 2022 is here now. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic's at DStallworth5. I'm at RegulusMB. The podcast is at Superpod, SUPAPOD. Superpod.com is the website. You can find us there. All the previous podcasts, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast. And of course, you can find us anywhere else you can find podcasts, including iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
All right, see you.